My beloved child, listen carefully to the sound of my voice right now. This is not an accident. This is not just another moment slipping by. This is your divine appointment with me, your Savior, your Shepherd, your Redeemer who loves you more than you can comprehend. I have interrupted your day, your thoughts, your plans, because there are words burning on my heart that you must hear. This is not something you can put off for another time. You cannot silence this call, for it comes from the depths of my love for you. You have been asking me for direction, for confirmation, for a sign, and now I have come to you, myself, speaking directly into your spirit, because the days ahead require preparation. What I am about to reveal is not to scare you but to awaken you. You have been walking faithfully, even when you did not fully understand why the path was so hard, so lonely, so uncertain. I saw every step you took when no one else noticed. I gathered every tear you cried into my hands. I have been beside you even when you wondered if I was silent. And now, hear me. This is a sacred turning point for you. This is not just another season. This is the divine shift you have been sensing but could not name. There are things in your life that must be released, things you must now prepare to say farewell to, because I am moving you into a greater assignment. I am moving you into promises that have been waiting for you, but they cannot exist alongside old weights and old ties. There is an urgency in my spirit, a longing in my heart, to see you walk freely into what I have ordained for you since before you were even formed in your mother's womb. Do not dismiss this moment. Do not push away this stirring inside of you, for it is I, the Lord your God, awakening you for what is to come. Trust that my timing is perfect even when your emotions resist. Trust that my voice is leading you into life and not into loss. My beloved, you have reached the threshold. You have arrived at the doorway between what has been and what must now be left behind. I am not asking you to understand everything right now. I am only asking you to trust that I know the plans I have for you, and they are plans for good and not for harm, to give you a future and a hope. Even though your hands may tremble as you loosen your grip, even though your heart may ache as you prepare to step forward, know that I am holding you closer than ever before. You will not fall. You will not be forsaken. I have appointed angels to walk with you through every moment of this transition. You are not losing your life. You are finding the life that has been hidden with me, waiting for this very time. To listen closely. Open the ears of your spirit. Silence every voice of fear, every whisper of doubt, every lie of the enemy. This is holy ground you stand on now. I am here. I am speaking. And my words are your lifeline into the future I have crafted for you with my own hands. This is your moment, beloved. This is your call. Prepare to say farewell, and prepare to enter into the life you were born to live. The moment you once thought was distant is now standing at your door, beloved. The hour you used to hear whispers about, the season you once believed was still years away, has drawn near with quiet but unstoppable steps. You see, while you have been walking forward in faith, I have been aligning time itself to bring you into the place I designed for you. Even when you felt delays and detours, the invisible hand of my purpose was guiding every turn. And now, the ground beneath you begins to shift, not to destabilize you but to usher you into fulfillment. What once seemed like a far-off dream is becoming the reality you will walk in. I do not send warnings to create fear, I send them because I love you too much to let you be caught unaware. You must understand, precious one, that the hour brings not only blessings but responsibilities. The steps you take now must be deliberate, full of trust, anchored in my voice alone. Many around you may not sense what you are sensing. They may continue as if everything is normal. But you are called to live awake. You are called to move at the prompting of my spirit, even when the world is asleep. The closeness of this hour demands that you walk carefully, guarding your heart above all else, for from it flows the wellspring of your destiny. This is not a time for casual wandering. It is a time for purposeful following. Like a river swells before it overflows its banks, My spirit is swelling within you, preparing to overflow into every area of your life. Can you feel the stirring? Can you feel the weight of my presence increasing? That is not your imagination. It is my hand drawing you forward with urgency and tenderness. You cannot cling to the timelines you once trusted. They will fail you. You cannot lean on your own understanding. It will mislead you. Only my spirit can guide you safely now. As the hour approaches, the spiritual climate around you intensifies. Battles are being fought over your future even now, unseen, but very real. And yet, you are not called to fear those battles. You are called to stand in the victory I already secured for you. The nearness of this hour is not meant to burden you, but to ready you. I have not brought you this far to abandon you at the doorstep of destiny. I will be your strength as you step into what you have never stepped into before. I will be your voice when you do not know what to say. I will be your courage when fear tries to whisper. I will be your peace when the unknown tries to steal your sleep. Hear me again. The hour has drawn near, but you are not alone in it. I go before you. I stand beside you. I am your rear guard. My angels have been dispatched to minister to you, to protect you, to lift you when you feel weary. Trust the quiet preparations I have been doing in you. Trust the stretching, the pruning, the refining. They have not been punishments. They have been investments for this appointed time. You are about to witness the unfolding of my faithfulness in ways that will leave you breathless with awe. So do not shrink back now. Do not second-guess what you have heard in your spirit. I am confirming it even now with my peace resting upon you. Step forward. Move with me. Follow the cloud of my presence, even when you do not see the full map ahead. This hour was crafted with your name on it, my child. This is the hour where farewell becomes your gateway into destiny. Take my hand. Trust my pace. The hour is here, and I am with you through it all. Beloved, long before you realized what was happening, I was already shaping your heart for this appointed crossing. Every whisper you heard in the secret place, every stirring that left you restless for more, every encounter that felt strangely unfinished, it was all part of my preparation. I was not distant when confusion clouded your mind. I was not silent when you searched for clarity. I was working deep within you, doing a hidden but holy work that the surface could not yet reveal. I planted seeds of resilience where you once carried weakness. I infused strength into places that once trembled at the slightest shaking. I drew you away from distractions, even when you did not know why the separation was needed. Trust this truth, my child, your heart has been in my hands all along. I have been carving spaces inside of you, making room for greater things than you could have asked for. There were seasons when you questioned why certain dreams felt delayed, why certain doors stayed closed despite your faithful knocking. Hear me clearly. It was not denial. It was careful cultivation. I was preparing a foundation deep enough to hold the magnitude of what I am about to build through your life. Many times you asked me if I had forgotten you, if I had overlooked your prayers. Never once, my love. Not for a single heartbeat did my gaze leave you. I hid you. I refined you. I taught you to hear the smallest nudges of my spirit, because what I am leading you into requires a heart trained in discernment, not just excitement. You were never being punished when things didn't make sense. You were being positioned. Every moment that made you question, every delay that made you wonder, every stretching that made you ache, all of it was intentional. All of it was authored by love. I allowed some of your comforts to be stripped away, not to harm you, but to reveal the places where false security had taken root. I called you to trust me when the path was dark, to lean into my promises when the surroundings gave no evidence. It was then that your heart learned to beat in rhythm with mine. It was then that you learned to move at the sound of my whisper rather than the applause of men. My beloved, nothing hath been wasted. The hours you spent seeking me when no one saw, the nights you poured your heart out before me with trembling hands, the mornings you chose faith over fear even when you felt nothing but empty, these have built in you an endurance that will anchor you for the days ahead. I know there were moments you wanted quick answers, immediate relief, visible progress. But I love you too much to give you what you asked for prematurely. I loved you enough to wait until your heart could carry the weight of what I intend to pour out. Understand this. The hidden seasons were not a sign of abandonment, but of investment. I was investing eternity into you when the world offered you fleeting ease. I was drawing you closer when others drifted away. You were never wandering without purpose. Every step, every tear, every surrendered dream was woven into my masterpiece for your life. And now, as you stand on the threshold of farewell, know that your heart is not entering empty. It is entering equipped. You have more within you than you realize. My Spirit hath been training you for victories you have yet to see. You are stronger than the battles you will face, because your strength is not rooted in yourself. It is rooted in me. Do not fear the unknown, beloved. The heart I have shaped in you will recognize my leading. You will not be lost. You will not miss your way. As you prepare to step forward, carry this certainty: I have prepared not only the path before you, but the heart within you. You are ready because I have made you ready, even when you did not know what I was doing. Trust the work I have done in the unseen places. Trust the foundations I have laid in secret. They will hold you steady when the winds rise. They will carry you when your emotions falter. I am the one who began this work in you, and I am the one who will complete it. You are not stepping into the unknown alone. You are stepping into the fulfillment of promises birthed long ago. Walk forward with confidence, beloved. Your heart has been prepared by the hands of the King. Precious one, every tear you thought fell unnoticed was seen by me. In the quiet places where you wept and believed no one understood, I was sitting beside you, collecting each tear as treasure. I never turned away from your sorrow. I never dismissed your pain. Every cry of your heart, every silent ache you carried alone, was heard in the courts of heaven. You were never abandoned in your anguish. My arms were around you when you had no strength to lift your head. Your tears were not wasted emotions, beloved. They became seeds, holy, powerful seeds planted into the soil of my promises for you. What you thought was grief beyond purpose hath been transformed into preparation beyond measure. You see, in my kingdom, nothing offered from a surrendered heart is ever lost. Every moment you surrendered your brokenness to me became the groundwork for a mighty harvest. Those lonely nights you endured were watering the very fields that are about to bloom in your life. I never allow pain without producing purpose. Your tears have softened the hard ground, making it fertile for the dreams I have been nurturing within you. And now, beloved, you are standing at the edge of that harvest. You may not see the full bloom yet, but the seeds have already broken through the soil beneath your feet. The season of hiddenness, the season of sowing in sorrow, is about to give way to a season of reaping in joy. You must know this: none of your heartbreak was meaningless. I have taken every shattered piece, every whispered prayer from trembling lips, and woven them into a story far greater than the pain you endured. I am redeeming what you thought would never heal. I am building from what you thought was broken beyond repair. My hands have been shaping miracles in the dark while you waited for the light. You believed you were forgotten when you were actually being planted. And now, the roots are strong, the foundation is deep, and you are ready to rise in ways you could not have sustained before. Beloved, I honored your vulnerability. I honored your willingness to pour yourself out before me, even when you did not understand why the waiting seemed endless. Your honesty, your surrender, your refusal to harden your heart in bitterness, these have become precious offerings before my throne. Heaven has not forgotten the way you chose trust over resentment. Heaven remembers the way you lifted your hands in worship even when your heart was breaking. I remember. I was there, weeping with you, holding you closer than you knew. And now, I am about to show you that your tears were not the end of your story, they were the preparation for a divine unveiling of my faithfulness. My beloved, the time you thought was lost has been stored up for you. The dreams you buried in sorrow are not dead. They are about to resurrect with power. What the enemy tried to convince you was permanent loss will be the very place where my glory shines the brightest. You trusted me in the dark, and now you will see me in the light. Do not despise the tears that watered your journey. Without them, the soil would not be ready. Without them, the roots would not be strong enough to hold what I am about to release. Your weeping may have endured for a night, but joy unshakable, overflowing, divine joy is dawning upon your life. Prepare your heart, my child. Lift your eyes from the ground where you wept. Look to the horizon, where the first light of your new day is breaking through. I have seen your tears, and I am answering with harvests you did not even know you were planting. Trust me still. Trust me more. The fields are ready, and your season of mourning is being exchanged for dancing. Stand in expectation. I am faithful. I have always been. And every tear you offered me in faith is about to blossom into blessings too vast for you to contain. Lean in closer now, my beloved. Silence the noise that tries to clamor for your attention. Quiet the voices that bring confusion instead of peace. For I am speaking something now that will shift the very ground you have been standing upon. You must listen not just with your ears, but with your spirit, because what I am unfolding before you is unlike anything you have encountered before. This is not a mere adjustment or a slight change of direction. This is a divine unveiling that will rearrange the course of your life in ways far greater than your natural mind can predict. I am doing a new thing, something birthed from my heart long before you ever knew to ask for it. If you try to interpret this moment through old lenses, you will misunderstand it. You cannot cling to former patterns and expect to navigate the landscape I am preparing for you. I am extending an invitation to move into dimensions of purpose, influence, and intimacy with me that have been hidden until now. Listen closely, precious one, for each word I speak carries weight, strategy, and life for the days ahead. I am revealing layers of my will that have been reserved for this appointed season. Your obedience in the unknown has positioned you to receive blueprints from heaven, instructions that are not given to everyone, but only to those who have chosen to trust when understanding was absent. You are standing at a precipice where the familiar ends and the supernatural begins. I am about to cause streams to break forth in places you thought were deserts. I am about to cause doors to swing open that no man could have unlocked for you. But you must hear me. Old strategies will not sustain you in the new terrain. Your dependence on me must deepen beyond what you have known. The unfolding I am orchestrating requires your complete attention, your unwavering sensitivity to my voice. This is not the time to run ahead with assumptions. It is the time to walk step by step in absolute surrender. My beloved, this is not punishment, it is privilege. You are being entrusted with revelation that others will not understand. That is why it is so important that you stay tethered to me and not to popular opinion. I am setting before you opportunities that have eternal significance. Assignments that will impact generations are about to be placed in your hands. You must be willing to lay down good things in order to embrace the God thing. I will give you discernment to recognize what carries eternal weight and what is merely a distraction dressed in busyness. You have prayed for impact. You have cried out to live a life that matters in my kingdom. Now, I am answering you, but the path to that impact requires ears tuned to my every whisper. I will lead you through unfamiliar territory. I will ask you to move forward when comfort urges you to stay still. I will ask you to believe for what your eyes cannot yet see. This unfolding will stretch your faith, but it will also awaken a strength you never knew you carried. Listen carefully, beloved. I will send confirmations along the way. I will speak through my word, through dreams, through divine appointments. I will surround you with those who can see what I am doing, even when the crowd does not. Guard the vision I give you. Protect it from the voices of fear and doubt. Not everyone will understand the magnitude of what I am about to entrust to you, and that is okay. Your validation must come from me alone. As I unfold these plans, know that my grace will be sufficient for every step. I am not revealing the whole picture at once, not because I am withholding, but because I am teaching you to live in daily dependence on me. One day at a time, one yes at a time, One act of faith at a time, you will see my purposes come to life before your very eyes. Stay close. Stay expectant. Stay surrendered. I'm unfolding more than answers. I am unfolding destiny. The pages of your story are turning by my hand, and what I have written for you will be worth every moment of surrender. Prepare your heart, my child. The change you have longed for, the breakthrough you have hoped for, the impact you have dreamed of, is beginning now. Listen carefully. I am speaking, and every word carries the power to bring you into the fullness of your calling. I have watched you closely, not just in your moments of victory, but even more so in the quiet, unseen hours where obedience felt costly and unnoticed. When others pursued the grand and the visible, you remained faithful in the small places I entrusted to you. You chose integrity when no one applauded. You served when recognition was absent. You loved when it was difficult, and you gave when you had little left to offer. Heaven took note of every hidden act of faithfulness, every decision to honor me over the approval of man. I want you to know, none of it has gone unseen. Not a single prayer whispered, not a single sacrifice made in secret have been forgotten. You have stored up treasures in realms you cannot yet see, and now the time has come for what was sown in private to be revealed in power. Because you were faithful with what seemed small, I can now entrust you with much. The greater things your heart has longed for are not withheld from you. They have been prepared for the moment your character could sustain their weight. I was not delaying you. I was deepening you. I was ensuring that when the greater arrived, you would not be crushed under its responsibility, but would flourish within it. My beloved, the unveiling is near. What I am about to place in your hands will stretch your capacity and enlarge your territory. I will entrust you with influence that impacts lives beyond your immediate reach. I will open doors that require courage you did not know you possessed. But remember this, the greatness that I am revealing is not about making your name known. It is about making my love known through you. I am not elevating you for vanity. I am positioning you for impact. I am not promoting you for applause. I am sending you as a vessel of my heart to a world desperate for real hope. You will be a carrier of my presence in ways that will shift atmospheres. You will speak, and chains will break. You will pray, and strongholds will crumble. You will love, and hardened hearts will soften. All of this not because of your strength but because of your surrender. I chose you not because you were the loudest or the most polished, but because you were willing to be faithful in the assignments that others overlooked. You did not despise the days of small beginnings, and now I am honoring your humility with greater responsibilities. As I reveal the greater, you must stay anchored in the heart that served me when the spotlight was absent. Guard your purity. Protect your secret place with me. The same quiet obedience that sustained you before must remain the foundation as you step into the visible assignments ahead. If you chase visibility without intimacy, you will lose the very oil that keeps your lamp burning. But if you remain at my feet, nothing can extinguish the light I will shine through you. The greater will come with new challenges. Greater fever often grows greater resistance. Greater territory often attracts greater warfare. But do not be afraid. I have already equipped you for the battles ahead. The faith you built when no one was watching will be your shield. The trust you forged in the hidden places will be your sword. You will not be overcome. You will overcome because you are rooted in me. My beloved, prepare your heart to steward the more I am entrusting to you. Stay low before me, even as I lift you higher. Stay teachable, even as others seek your wisdom. Stay dependent, even as influence grows around you. Your promotion is not a reward for perfection. It is a commissioning of deeper purpose. You are stepping into fulfillment, not because you chased after it, but because you chased after me. And in me, all things are added according to my perfect timing. Stand ready. The season of greater is no longer a distant hope. It is knocking at your door, and it carries my fingerprints upon every detail. You have been faithful with little, my child. Now, watch as I unfold the abundance I have prepared just for you. Beloved, as I usher you into the season ahead, I must ask something sacred of you. something that may stretch your heart but will ultimately set it free. I am asking you to hold loosely to what once felt unshakable. The structures, the relationships, the routines that seemed immovable in your life. I am asking you to release your grip on them, not because they were wrong, but because they have served their purpose. You see, there are things that were meant to carry you only to this point, not beyond. They were anchors for a season, but they cannot be the sails for where I am taking you next. If you clutch them too tightly, you will miss the winds of my spirit that are meant to propel you forward. I know it is not easy. I know you build memories around certain places, certain people, certain roles. I know there is comfort in the familiar. But I am doing something new, something that requires you to travel lighter, freer, unburdened by what no longer fits the call upon your life. Holding tightly to what I am asking you to release will only create tension in your spirit. It will slow your steps when I am asking you to move swiftly. I am not stripping you to leave you barren. I am pruning you so that you may bear more fruit. Trust me in this, beloved. I am not taking from you. I am preparing you. There are attachments that were good for the journey behind you, but detrimental for the journey ahead. They were blessings for a time, but even good things can become hindrances if they are clung to past their season. Open your hands before me. Allow me to gently remove what is finished and to place into your hands what is fresh, alive, and aligned with your future. I see the emotions swirling within you. The nostalgia, the questions, the quiet sadness. I am not blind to them. I am present in them. I am not asking you to deny your feelings. I am asking you to surrender them. Let your tears flow if they must, but do not let your heart stay anchored to what was. Trust the hands that lead you, even when they ask you to loosen your hold. I promise you this. Anything I ask you to release will be replaced with something greater in purpose and richer in joy. You will not be left with emptiness. You will not walk forward with loss as your companion. You will carry fulfillment, divine appointments, and supernatural provision. What feels like subtraction now will be revealed as multiplication later. What appears as an ending will be known as a beginning when you look back. I am weaving beauty from your willingness to let go. I am crafting something eternal from your surrender. Beloved, cling not to the sands of time, but to the rock who is unmovable. Let me be your stability. Let my promises be the pillars upon which you lean. Earthly things shift and change, but my faithfulness remains forever. Fix your eyes on me, not on what you fear losing. I am your constant, your sure foundation, your everlasting refuge. And when your hands are emptied of what once weighed you down, they will be ready to receive the abundance I am pouring out. Prepare your spirit for surprises. Be ready for doors to open that you did not knock on. Be expectant for new connections that carry destiny in their breath. Be open to assignments that ignite fires within you that you did not know were waiting to be lit. I am doing a work so profound, so precise, that it requires you to trust me beyond what your eyes can see right now. Take courage, my child. Loosen your grip not out of fear, but out of trust. Release what you thought was permanent, and watch as I unveil the everlasting things that will never be taken from you. I am faithful to complete what I began in you. Hold tightly to me, and loosely to everything else, and you will see miracles unfold before your very eyes. Are bonds in your life that once felt sacred, connections that once carried my blessing, seasons that once bore my anointing. Yet now, I am asking you to loosen your hold, even on these. Not because they were wrong or sinful, but because their purpose in your journey had been fulfilled. There are chapters that were ordained to build you, to nurture you, to sharpen your spirit. They were good. They were necessary. But they were never meant to define you forever. I am calling you beyond them. I know it seems difficult to release what once carried my fragrance. I know it feels confusing to detach from places and people that once brought you closer to me. But growth often demands departure, and maturity sometimes requires separation, even from things that once seemed holy. Just as Abraham had to leave behind even the land of promise to follow my voice, so now I call you to trust me beyond the past manifestations of my blessing. The danger, my beloved, is not in honoring what I once used. It is in idolizing it. When a tool becomes a monument, it can imprison the very heart I am trying to lead forward. I never intended for your past experiences to become cages. They were stepping stones, not final destinations. I am a God of movement, of forward calling, of unending newness. You must be willing to loosen even the attachments that once bore my name if my voice now says, it is time to move. Honor the seasons, but do not chain yourself to them. Celebrate the memories, but do not anchor your identity to what was. I am doing a fresh thing, breathing fresh breath into your destiny. New wine cannot be poured into old wineskins, beloved. What was sacred for yesterday may not carry the anointing for tomorrow. Listen closely. It is not betrayal to move forward when I call you. It is obedience. It is worship. You are not dishonoring your past by answering the summons of your future. You are not abandoning the sacred. You are following the sacred one who is always ahead of you. I am not erasing what was good. I am building upon it. I am leading you from glory to glory, from strength to strength, from depth to greater depth. The attachments you must now loosen are not curses. They were blessings for their time. But their time has passed, and clinging to them will only delay your advancement. I know your heart is tender. I know you treasure the people, the places, the patterns that carried my goodness to you. I do not ask you to forget. I ask you to trust. Trust that I am the author of every good thing you have ever received. Trust that I hold both your past and your future in my hands. Trust that what I am calling you into will require a heart unburdened by yesterday's structure. There are new relationships I am preparing for you, ones built not on what you were but on who you are becoming in me. There are new territories that your current attachments cannot travel into. Their assignment was for then, your calling is for now. You must travel lighter. You must travel freer. Loosen your grip, not because you despise the old, but because you honor me above all else. When your loyalty is to my voice first, you are free to follow wherever I lead, no matter what it costs. Remember, beloved, obedience is better than sacrifice. And sometimes obedience looks like letting go with gratitude rather than clinging with fear. I am with you in this process. You are not alone in your releasing. I will comfort your heart even as you say farewell to what once sustained you. I will fill every empty space with my fullness. You will not walk into the next season depleted. You will walk into it equipped, refreshed, realigned. Open your hands, my child. Trust my timing. Trust my leading. The attachments you loosen today will make room for the glory you will carry tomorrow. Follow me into the new with a heart unchained from yesterday's treasures. For I have prepared greater things than your eyes have yet seen. Beloved, I need you to understand something deep within your spirit right now. You are not stepping into loss. You are stepping into promotion. Even though it feels like you are leaving much behind, even though your heart wrestles with the letting go, what I am doing is not subtraction. It is elevation. From your limited perspective, it may look like you are losing ground, but from my eternal view, you are rising into a realm you could not have entered while holding on to what was. What you perceive as endings are actually thresholds. What feels like decrease is making room for expansion. I am not dismantling your life. I am unfolding the next dimension of your destiny. Trust me, precious one. I would never call you away from the familiar unless the unfamiliar carried a greater weight of glory. I would not ask you to release what you cherish unless I had something far richer waiting for you. This transition is not punishment. It is promotion into realms your eyes have not yet seen, into assignments your mind has not fully grasped, into callings that have been waiting for your readiness. I know it is hard to comprehend right now. I know the fog of uncertainty can cloud your heart. But lean into my voice above the noise of fear. Lean into my promises above the whispers of doubt. I am lifting you, not leaving you. I am promoting you into impact beyond your imagination. You have been faithful with the portion I entrusted to you. Now I am enlarging your capacity to carry more of my heart to a broken world. What you thought was the culmination was merely preparation. What you thought was the pinnacle was only the beginning. My ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts stretch far beyond your present understanding. If I showed you now all that I have prepared, your heart would scarcely be able to contain the magnitude of it. So I lead you step by step, revealing only what you need for today, because I am guarding the treasure I have hidden within you until the appointed time. Do not weep as though you are being robbed. Rejoice, for you are being entrusted with more. This shifting, this releasing, this reordering, it is the announcement of new beginnings. Heaven is not silent concerning you. The heavens are resounding with the sound of promotion. Angels are being assigned to guide you into the places I have already written into your story. Doors you did not even know existed are opening at the sound of my command. Resources you did not seek are being aligned to meet you where I am leading you. Relationships that carry divine purpose are on their way to intersect your path. Everything you need for the next level of your assignment has already been secured. You do not need to strive, you need only to trust and obey. My beloved, the ache you feel is not the ache of loss. It is the stretching of a soul about to soar higher than it ever dreamed. It is the growing pain of expansion. You are shedding what no longer fits, and though it feels unfamiliar, it is holy. I am enlarging your borders. I am extending your influence. I am amplifying your voice in places that need the sound of truth you carry. And I am covering you, protecting you, preserving you through every step. Do not be afraid to outgrow what once defined you. Growth required departure. Maturity demands forward movement. You are not betraying your past by stepping into your future. You are fulfilling it. You are honoring every season that brought you here by refusing to stay when my spirit says, go higher. Celebrate the foundation, but rise into the building. Give thanks for the roots, but reach for the fruit. The promotion you are stepping into will testify to those who doubted, to those who misunderstood, that my hand was always upon you. You will not only see my promises fulfilled, you will become living proof of my faithfulness. So lift your eyes, beloved. Lift your heart. Let hope arise within you. You are not losing. You are being called upward. You are being crowned with favor. You are being entrusted with more. You are stepping into rooms where your presence will shift atmospheres, into arenas where your voice will carry authority, into assignments where your obedience will birth revival. Do not mourn the letting go. Celebrate the lifting up. Your promotion is unfolding even now, and it carries the very fingerprints of heaven. Hear my voice as I call you gently, but firmly forward. The path ahead is not unlocked by striving, by planning, or by clinging. It is unlocked by release. I am leading you to a door unlike any you have approached before, a door so sacred, so pivotal, that it requires a heart free from yesterday's weight. This door will not yield to force, nor will it respond to your memories of what was. It opens only when you choose to say farewell to what you once leaned on. I know this isn't easy. I know how deeply you have loved, how fiercely you have fought to hold on to what once gave you security. But now, my beloved, I need your hands emptied of what you thought was essential, so that they are free to receive what truly is eternal. The future I have prepared for you will not fit into the mold of your past. The strategies that once worked will not open this door. The mindsets that once protected you will only restrict you now. I am inviting you into a new level of trust, one that is radical, one that is complete. It is not partial surrender I am asking for. It is everything. Let the farewell be full, not hesitant. Let the goodbye be trusting, not torn. The door I am leading you toward is the gateway to promises fulfilled, but you cannot drag the baggage of old seasons through it. Farewell is not a punishment, it is a preparation. Farewell is not loss, it is alignment. Farewell is not abandonment, it is advancement. Until you bless what was and release it back into my hands, you cannot fully step into what is now calling your name. You see, beloved, doors in my kingdom are not opened with keys of force, but with keys of surrender. Your farewell is the key. Your willingness to honor the past without chaining yourself to it is the unlocking mechanism. Every step you take away from what no longer carries my breath is a step closer to what overflows with my life. Some doors in your past closed loudly, with pain and conflict. Others faded quietly, with little explanation. Both kinds of endings have prepared you for this door. Trust me when the closing feels harsh. Trust me when it feels gentle. Whether the goodbye is loud or silent, know that it is guided by my hand for your good. The enemy will whisper that you are losing too much. Ignore his lies. The truth is, you are shedding what cannot cross into the territory I have marked with your name. If you hesitate at this door, you will find yourself burdened by things that were meant only to be part of your foundation, not your future. Walk forward with courage, my child. The road behind you served its purpose. Honor it, but do not return to it. Look ahead. Fix your eyes on me. I am standing before you, hand extended, beckoning you into rooms prepared before the foundations of the earth were laid. I designed them with you in mind. I fashioned them to match the gifts, the calling, the heart I formed within you. But you must come with hands unclenched. You must come with a heart willing to believe that I truly have more in store. I know the unknown feels daunting, but I promise you, what I have ahead will cause you to weep in gratitude that you chose to trust me when nothing made sense. You will marvel at my goodness. You will see the beauty of my timing. You will stand in places that once seemed unreachable. But first you must choose. You must bless the past and release it. You must bid farewell with faith, not fear. Only then will the door swing wide before you. Only then will you see what I have hidden just out of sight, waiting for your yes. Take my hand, beloved. Trust my leading. The threshold of destiny is before you. Say farewell to what was. Step boldly through the door into all that awaits. I am with you. I am for you. And I have so much more waiting just beyond this sacred farewell. Not every farewell will be easy, and not every release will come without a weight pressing against your heart. There will be moments when the letting go feels like tearing apart pieces you thought you would always carry. Some chapters have been written so deeply into your story that closing them feels unnatural, even painful. But I need you to understand that heaviness does not mean wrongness. There are borings that are not born from failure, but from fulfillment. When a season has completed its purpose, when a relationship has carried you as far as it was designed to, when a place has given all it was meant to give, the call to move forward often comes with a bittersweet ache. It is not the absence of love. It is the sign of growth. The heaviness in your spirit does not signal that you are walking away from your calling. It is evidence that you are stepping deeper into it. Destiny rarely opens without asking something costly of you. True advancement demands that you leave behind even the beautiful things that would otherwise tether you to where you no longer belong. The weight you feel is real, but it is not a burden you must carry into the next place. It is an offering. It is a surrender that unlocks more than you can imagine. The familiar will cry out for your loyalty. Nostalgia will tempt you to linger. Fear will whisper that you are making a mistake. But listen to my voice above all others. I am not leading you into emptiness. I am leading you into enlargement. I am not stripping you bare. I am preparing you for a greater covering. Every goodbye, heavy though it may seem, is a doorway disguised as an ending. I know how your heart mourns the spaces that once felt like home. I know how your soul clings to faces, to memories, to moments that shaped you. But to remain there would be to halt the story I am still writing. To refuse the goodbye would be to refuse the unfolding of promises I have yet to bring to life in you. The ones meant to walk with you into the new will recognize the shifting winds. The ones assigned to your next steps will find their way beside you without your forcing or striving. Let the natural departures happen without resentment. Let the gradual separations teach you that not every loss is a tragedy, some are orchestrations of my mercy. I am not asking you to harden your heart. I am asking you to trust mine. I am asking you to believe that when I call you forward, I do not leave your heart abandoned on the road behind. I heal what feels broken. I restore what feels stripped away. I build upon what you release in faith. Some of the goodbyes will leave a silence in their place, But even that silence will be holy ground. It will be the space where new instructions are whispered. It will be the room where fresh dreams are breathed into existence. You cannot carry yesterday's alliances into tomorrow's battlefields. You cannot cling to old comforts and still run freely toward new assignments. Farewells are not just about leaving something. They are about making space for something higher, something deeper, something more aligned with the person you are becoming. Every goodbye you surrender to me will be answered with a new beginning that carries the fragrance of my presence. Where sorrow tries to root itself, joy will spring up. Where loneliness tries to creep in, intimacy with me will deepen beyond anything you have known. Where fear tries to cloud your vision, revelation will come like the breaking of dawn. This is not just about what you are walking away from. It is about what you are walking toward. Destiny is calling your name, and it will not wait for the comfort of the old to release you willingly. You must choose. You must trust that the heaviness of today is the birth pangs of tomorrow's promise. Lift your head, even if your hands still tremble. Take the step, even if your heart still aches. Say yes, even when goodbye is soaked in tears. I will meet you in the space between what and what is to come. I will walk with you through the narrow places into the wide-open spaces of fulfillment. Every heavy goodbye surrendered to me will be transformed into a foundation for the life you have yet to live. Keep moving forward. I am with you, closer than your next breath. I have watched your hands tremble as you tried to hold together pieces that were slipping away. I have seen the way your heart tightened around certain things, hoping that if you clung hard enough, you could prevent the change that was whispering its arrival. Fear made promises to you, promises of safety, promises of familiarity, but those promises were illusions. I understood why you struggled. I understood why you clutched at what was familiar, even as I was gently loosening your grip. Not once did I turn away from you in your wrestling. Not once did I grow impatient with your hesitation. I stood near, waiting, whispering, inviting, never forcing. Fear has been a loud voice in your journey, but it has not been the loudest. My patience has always been louder. While fear tried to convince you that you would be lost without the old structures, I was quietly building a new foundation under your feet. While anxiety tried to make you believe that the future was a threat, I was weaving goodness into every unseen moment ahead of you. There is no condemnation for the moments you hesitated. I do not accuse you for the times you shrank back. I knew when you were paralyzed not because of rebellion, but because of the enormity of what you were facing. I knew how much courage it would take to step forward into the unseen. That is why I never left your side. I waited with you. I strengthened you in hidden ways. I sent whispers of encouragement when your soul was weary. I placed gentle signs along your path to remind you that you were not alone. Every tear you shed in the tension between fear and faith was precious to me. Every prayer you prayed from the place of wrestling was heard and answered, not with judgment, but with tender understanding. I am not the kind of shepherd who abandons his sheep when they falter. I am the one who kneels beside you, lifts your chin, and reminds you who you are even when you forget. You were never defined by your fear. You have always been defined by your belonging to me. Even when you held on to things I was asking you to release, I did not withdraw my love. Even when you delayed your steps, I did not rescind my promises. I simply waited, calling you deeper, drawing you closer, strengthening the roots that would one day empower you to move forward with boldness. The journey of transformation is not marked by perfection but by perseverance. You have persevered, even in your trembling. You have remained tethered to my voice, even when doubt tried to drown it out. That is why you are standing at the threshold now. That is why the door is opening. Not because you never falter, but because you never fully let go of me. My patience has been your covering. My gentleness has been your shield. My mercy has been your guide. And now, I invite you to see that the same hands that caught you when you stumbled are the same hands lifting you now into new territory. There is no shame in your story. There is only grace upon grace. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are precisely where I have led you, and you are ready because I say you are ready. Fear may have slowed your steps, but it has not stopped my plans. Your destiny remains intact. Your calling remains sure. Your place in my heart remains unshaken. Today, as you stand at the edge of the unfamiliar, let every memory of my patience give you confidence to move forward. I have been faithful in your delay. I will be even more faithful in your acceleration. Do not fear your own humanity. I factored it into the promises I made you. I knew every hesitation you would experience before I ever spoke a word over your life, and I chose you still. My patience is your assurance that my commitment to you is not fragile. It is fierce. It is eternal. Let go of the guilt that tries to cling to your story. It has no place in the narrative I am writing. Step forward not with condemnation, but with gratitude. Step forward not because you are perfect, but because I am perfectly committed to you. The moments you clung tightly out of fear are not your identity. The courage you are choosing now is the testimony of my patience working within you. The hesitation that once gripped your heart has no place in this moment. The waiting room you once occupied has emptied. The preparations are finished. The whispers that once felt distant now roar within your spirit. The time for delay has passed, and the hour of decision stands before you. Stretch your hands toward me, not with partial offering, but with everything you are and everything you hope to be. Let the remnants of fear fall away. Let the calculations and second-guessing lose their grip. Full surrender is not a loss. It is your liberation. It is the opening of every locked gate you once thought impassable. You were not made to live half-hearted, half-anchored, half-dreaming. You were designed to live fully alive, fully yielded, fully immersed in my purposes. Stretch your hands toward me with the trust of a child and the boldness of a warrior. Do not bring me your guarded self. Bring me the whole of you, the strong, the weak, the questions, the confidence, the unfinished dreams, the secret fears. Hold nothing back. My hands are steady. My arms are sure. I am not overwhelmed by what you offer. I am honored by it. The full surrender I seek is not about what you can do. It is about who you are willing to become in my presence. I know there are parts of you still trembling, still questioning whether the sacrifice is worth the unknown ahead. I tell you now, it is worth everything. What you relinquish to me will not vanish into emptiness. It will be reborn into something so much greater, something eternal. Full surrender does not strip you of identity. It reveals your true one. When your hands are open before me, you are not left defenseless. You are made dangerous to the darkness that once tried to cage you. Your open hands become vessels for my power, conduits for my glory. The surrendered heart becomes a throne upon which my purposes are established. Nothing you surrender is wasted. Nothing you release in trust evaporates without return. Every piece you lay down is gathered by me, reshaped by me, multiplied by me. What you consider your small offering becomes mighty in my hands. Stretching your hands toward me is not a gesture of weakness. It is a declaration of dependence on the only strength that cannot fail. It is a posture that invites miracles to be born. It is the gateway through which the impossible becomes possible. You have come far. You have fought through valleys of uncertainty. You have endured storms that sought to break you. And now, you stand at a precipice where your full yes is the key to doors you have not even dreamed of yet. Trust my voice more than the trembling of your own heart. Trust the pull of my spirit more than the logic of your mind. Logic may question. Fear may argue. But deep within, your spirit knows that the moment you stretch your hands fully to me, everything shifts. You are not called to half measures. You are not an afterthought. You are my chosen vessel, set apart for this very hour. There is no shame in the battles you fought to reach this point. There is only victory in the choice you make now. Raise your hands, not because you have every answer, but because you trust the one who holds all answers. Raise them even if they shake. Raise them even if your voice quivers when you whisper yes. I am not asking for polished perfection. I am asking for willingness. I am asking for trust deeper than sight, Surrender stronger than uncertainty. Lift your hands toward me, not because you are sure of the path, but because you are sure of my heart. I will take what you offer, and I will breathe upon it life abundant. I will take your surrender and build from it stories of redemption that generations will tell. The moment your hands stretch toward me without condition, without reservation, is the moment heaven invades your story with a force unstoppable. The time has come. The call is clear. Stretch your hands without delay. Full surrender is not the end of your story. It is where the real story begins. Every step you take toward me, every act of surrender you offer, every attachment you release, none of it will leave you barren. I do not call you to let go so that you are left with nothing. I call you to let go so that your hands are free to receive what cannot be stolen, what cannot decay, what cannot fail. My hand is not a hand that demands and withholds. My hand is a hand that exchanges lesser things for greater treasures. My nature is not to strip you and abandon you. My nature is to clothe you in purpose, to cover you with mercy, to crown you with honor that no earthly system can provide. I see how fear tries to whisper that if you stretch your hands open, you will be left grasping at the air, reaching for promises that dissolve like mist. Silence that fear by remembering who I am. Recall the history we share, the countless moments where you thought you would fall, but instead, you found yourself carried. I have never once forsaken you, and I will not start now. When you empty yourself before me, it is not to remain empty. It is to be filled beyond what you dared imagine. I am the God who fills the hungry with good things. I am the one who multiplies the little into abundance. I am the Father who delights in giving good gifts to his children. Your open hands are not a sign of loss. They are an invitation for me to place into them assignments crafted in the secret chambers of heaven. You are not moving toward scarcity. You are moving toward sufficiency that is rooted in my endless resources. You are not being stripped to stand exposed. You are being prepared to be robed in garments woven from my promises. When you trust that my hand will not leave you empty, you step into a level of freedom that few dare to experience. You cease living defensively. You cease hoarding what you fear losing. You live fully, generously, abundantly, because you know that nothing surrendered to me ever diminishes you. It only multiplies within you. I have seen the way you have feared being left behind, the way you have hesitated because you did not want to find yourself forgotten in the crowd of others' breakthroughs. Hear me clearly. I do not overlook those who trust me. I do not abandon those who dare to believe that my word is true. Your trust is the vessel that I will fill. Your faith is the door through which my provision will pour. You are not walking into a void. You are walking into a fullness that has been waiting for the moment your heart could truly receive it. My hand is steady. My grip is firm. When I lead you forward, I already have provision waiting at every step. I do not invite you into transition without preparing the supply for the journey. You do not need to create your own way. You need only to follow my leading, knowing that every need you have, every desire rooted in my will, is already known and already accounted for. When I stretch forth my hand toward you, it carries the weight of promises fulfilled, not empty echoes. You can trust me with what you release. You can trust me with the spaces you leave behind. You can trust me with the dreams you lay down. I am not gathering them to bury them. I am gathering them to breathe resurrection life into them, to shape them into forms more glorious than you dared design. There is no emptiness in my kingdom for those who surrender. There is only a trading of ashes for beauty, mourning for joy, heaviness for garments of praise. The treasures you seek are not found by clinging to what is slipping away. They are discovered by reaching forward into the unseen, into the trustworthy expanse of my promises. I will not leave you reaching into the void. I will meet your reaching with fulfillment. I will meet your empty hands with the abundance of my presence. I will meet your willingness with outpourings of my spirit that will leave you overwhelmed, not with loss, but with gratitude. Stretch your hands toward me without fear. Trust that what you release creates room for what I am bringing. My hand holds no emptiness for you. only the fullness of everything I have dreamed over your life since before the world began. The way you have been taught to view farewell is not the way heaven sees it. What feels like an ending to your natural senses is, in reality, a birthing. Farewell is not the closing of your story, but the unlocking of what hath been waiting behind walls built by fear, familiarity, and time. In my kingdom, nothing surrendered ends without resurrection. Nothing released is wasted into silence. Every goodbye you entrust to me becomes the soil where new life grows. Every departure blessed by your willingness becomes the starting point for freedoms you could not have imagined if you had stayed rooted in the old. You see only what you are stepping away from, but I see the expanse you are stepping into. Every farewell becomes a decree in the spiritual realm, a declaration that you are no longer confined to what once was. You are being sent, not abandoned. You are being commissioned, not discarded. To say goodbye to one season is to open the gates to the next, a next that holds purposes you were fashioned for but could never experience while clinging to the known. True release does not strip you of meaning, it reveals it. As long as your hands remain filled with yesterday's treasures, there is no room to embrace tomorrow's promises. That is why I call you to release fully, not because what you carried was unimportant, but because what is coming demands your entire capacity. You cannot walk forward while chained to what has expired. Trust that I am not asking you to let go because there is nothing ahead. I am asking because there is so much more ahead that cannot fit into the container of the past. I have heard the hidden questions you dare not even speak aloud. What if I let go and there is nothing more? I answer with a promise stronger than fear. When you let go for my sake, you make room for abundance that shakes the very ground you stand upon. What feels like an emptying is the beginning of overflow. Farewell is the unlocking of destiny disguised in the garments of loss. If you fix your eyes on what you are stepping away from, you will mourn unnecessarily. If you lift your gaze to me, you will realize you are stepping into fulfillment, not away from it. Do not grieve at those who have no hope. In my kingdom, every ending yields to a beginning saturated in promise. Every closed door conceals a greater door opening at my command. I am the God who wastes nothing, who forgets nothing surrendered, who multiplies everything offered in faith. The release you are stepping into is not just about change, it is about resurrection. Dreams you buried in earlier seasons are about to rise anew, clothed in strength and wisdom you did not possess before. Gifts that once lay dormant are about to find new life under my breath. Relationships that have fulfilled their assignment will make space for alignments you could not have orchestrated on your own. Resources that seem delayed are already flowing toward you as you step into the place where I have called you. The greatest mistake you could make now is to cling to what was safe at the expense of what is sacred. The familiar will plead for your loyalty. Nostalgia will tempt you to turn your heart backward. But I am not in the shadows of what was. I am in the unfolding of what will be. Every farewell in my kingdom carries the seed of resurrection power. Every relinquished comfort becomes the launchpad for new revelation, new anointing, new joy. True release requires trust deeper than emotion and faith stronger than what your eyes can see. It demands that you lean not on understanding, but on certainty in my nature. I have not led you this far to leave you stranded at the doorway of destiny. I am the God who finishes what he begins. I am the faithful author who writes only good endings, and even better new beginnings. Stand tall as you release. Stand expectantly as you let go. Celebrate the threshold, even if your heart aches with the leaving. What you surrender today becomes the soil of miracles tomorrow. Farewell is not failure. Farewell is freedom. It is the turning of the page, the lifting of the curtain, the sounding of a trumpet over your life. It is the announcement that you are ready to move from surviving into thriving, from hoping into possessing, from dreaming into living. Step forward knowing that every farewell blessed in my presence is the beginning of the life you were born to live. There are weights you have carried so long that you began to believe they were a permanent part of who you are. Some burdens disguise themselves as responsibility, others cloak themselves in duty or loyalty. They embedded so deeply into your identity that you forgot there was ever a time when you walked freely. But I have not called you to live bowed under pressure. I have not destined you to spend your days crushed beneath loads I never asked you to bear. Today, I am reaching into the very places where heaviness has clung to you, and I am lifting it off. You do not have to be the savior of every situation. You do not have to hold up what I am asking you to release. Some of what you have been carrying did not originate from my voice. It grew out of expectations you thought you had to meet, fears you thought you had to silence, wounds you thought you had to cover by striving harder. I see every layer. I know every reason why you held on to them for so long. I know you believed that if you let go, everything would fall apart. But what you didn't realize is that carrying them was slowly pulling you away from the freedom I designed for you. The burdens you picked up out of survival were never meant to follow you into your destiny. You were made for lightness. You were made for movement unrestrained. You were created to soar, not to stumble under invisible loads that wear down your strength. My hand is moving now to untangle you from every weight, every false obligation, every heavy cloak that has hidden the brightness of the life I placed within you. You do not need to hold it all together. That was never your assignment. You only need to yield to me, to trust that I can carry what you were never designed to manage. As I remove these burdens, you may feel exposed at first, as if a part of you has gone missing. But the emptiness you feel will soon be filled with breath, with life, with renewed energy you had forgotten you possessed. Your shoulders were not fashioned to bear the weight of the world. They were fashioned to lift hands in worship, to embrace assignments with joy, to move forward with courage. Let me relieve you of the heaviness that has dulled your steps and dim your hope. You do not have to figure it all out. You do not have to fix every broken thing. Trust that my hands are stronger, my wisdom deeper, my plan surer than anything you could ever construct in your own strength. I am inviting you to cast it all onto me, not because you are failing, but because you are mine. You do not have to prove your worth through carrying burdens. Your worth was established by my love, not by your labor. It is safe to lay down what you have believed was yours to bear. It is holy to surrender the weights that have stolen your joy. When you let go, you will not collapse, you will rise. When you release, you will not diminish, you will expand. My spirit will fill the spaces once occupied by fear, by striving, by endless effort. You will discover the beauty of walking lightly, of living freely, of serving from overflow instead of depletion. You will find that the voice of peace is louder when the noise of false burdens is silenced. You will taste the sweetness of being carried by grace rather than driven by pressure. I am not asking you to abandon love or responsibility. I am teaching you the difference between burdens born of obedience and weights born of fear. What is from me will empower you, not exhaust you. What is from me will align with your design, not contort you into shapes you were never meant to hold. Step into the release I offer. Trust my hand as it lifts away what has long oppressed your spirit. Watch as strength returns to your bones, as clarity floods your mind, as hope rises within your heart again. You are stepping into a new rhythm, one where my burden is easy and my yoke is light. This is not just relief, it is restoration. This is not just freedom from heaviness, it is freedom for destiny. Open your hands. Open your heart. Let the burdens fall. I am here, ready to carry what you cannot, ready to fill you with the life you were meant to live. There is a road before you that cannot be traveled with heavy burdens dragging at your steps. The places I am leading you into require a heart unencumbered by yesterday's griefs, untouched by the fear of tomorrow's unknowns. You were never meant to drag the shadows of your past into the sunrise I have prepared ahead. I am standing before you now, arms extended, offering to exchange the heaviness you have carried for a freedom you have not yet fully tasted. This lightness I give is not a denial of what you have walked through. It honors every scar, every tear, every hard-won step. Yet it refuses to let pain be your identity or weight be your companion. My invitation is not to pretend the battles never happened, but to live as one who has overcome because of them. Freedom is not forgetting, it is moving forward without chains. You cannot run into what I have prepared while holding on to regrets that were never meant to accompany your destiny. Let me cut away every rope that ties you to disappointments, every anchor that pulls at your soul when I call you higher. The weight of guilt, the chains of missed opportunities, the crushing pressure of unspoken expectations, all of these I am ready to lift. In my hands, burdens are not ignored. They are transformed. Wounds are not covered up. They are healed. Memories are not erased. They are redeemed. I am not asking you to be unaffected by your journey. I am asking you to be unbound by it. I see the areas where weariness has tried to embed itself so deeply that hope feels like a risk you cannot afford. I see the moments where resignation has whispered louder than faith. And I do not condemn you for them. I simply offer a new way. I offer a heart so light with trust, so filled with my presence, that fear finds no foothold and despair finds no home. You were made to move with a heart buoyant in grace, not crushed under invisible weights that steal your breath. Every dream I have breathed into you demands a heart unshackled. Every assignment waiting ahead calls for a spirit able to soar. You cannot reach what is before you if you are always glancing backward, dragging remnants of seasons I have already called finished. My spirit is ready to breathe new strength into places that have long felt exhausted. I am ready to trade the worn heaviness for a refreshing you thought was no longer possible. But you must agree to let go. You must agree to travel light. The next stretch of your journey is marked not by survival, but by flourishing. It requires flexibility, adaptability, and joy that cannot be shaken by circumstances. Carrying unnecessary weight will only slow you where I am calling you to run. Trust that what feels uncomfortable to release now will later be the very reason you are able to embrace the promises ahead without hindrance. I am not merely lightening your load to make the walk easier. I am preparing you to rise. There are heights you cannot scale while gripping burdens that were never meant to climb with you. My hand is not removing things to make you weaker. It is making room for the strength that has been waiting for permission to awaken within you. You will marvel at how light your spirit feels when you finally surrender what was never yours to carry into the future. The heaviness that once seemed inseparable from your soul will be replaced with peace that defies explanation. You will find yourself laughing in places you once only wept. You will discover energy in steps that once trudged forward by sheer will. You will feel the breath of freedom in your lungs and know that this is what you were always meant for. Not the crushing pace of endless striving, not the paralyzing ache of old failures, but the lightness of one who knows that they are carried, covered, and called. Stretch out your heart to me. Trust my touch to heal, to restore, to lift. Allow the lightness of my presence to seep into every corner where heaviness once ruled. The journey ahead demands freedom, not weight. It calls for a heart fully alive, fully awake, fully surrendered. Let me lighten you until you can run and not grow weary, walk and not faint, soar and not stumble. The future is waiting. Travel light. Travel free. There have been people in your life whose absence still tugs at the corners of your mind. Some drifted quietly, others left with words you struggled to understand. Their departure created spaces you didn't know how to fill, leaving you wondering if you had failed them or if they had failed you. But I want you to see from a higher place, not through the lens of loss, but through the lens of purpose. The friendships that shifted were not accidents of circumstance or punishments for mistakes. They were movements orchestrated by my wisdom, adjustments made by my hand to ensure you remained aligned with the path I have set before you. Relationships, like seasons, have purposes within the span of your story. Some are planted to nurture, others to challenge, some to sharpen, and some to simply walk alongside for a time. But not every relationship is meant to span every chapter. Some were given for some relationships slipped away not because you failed or because love diminished, but because the assignments tied to those connections were fulfilled. Your absence left an ache, a hollow echo in places where laughter and shared burdens once lived. Yet what you perceived as loss was, in fact, a repositioning, a deliberate, careful shifting guided by my hand. Friendships are not measured by their longevity alone, but by the purpose they serve in the unfolding of your story. There are those who entered your life to walk a few miles with you, to teach lessons that could not have been learned otherwise, to strengthen virtues that would be necessary for the roads ahead. Your presence was never meant to be permanent, though it felt natural to expect permanence from anything touched by love. I allowed certain ties to loosen because clinging too tightly would have anchored you to places I was calling you to leave. It was not betrayal, it was growth. It was not abandonment, it was divine arrangement. In seasons where you were stepping into higher purposes, not every companion could climb with you. Some lacked the vision necessary to understand where you were being led. Others fulfilled their role as catalysts, sharpening you, challenging you, sometimes even wounding you, so that greater resilience could be formed within your spirit. Each interaction, even those wrapped in pain, carried seeds of preparation. I see the memories you revisit, wondering if something could have been done differently. Lay those questions at my feet. I have weighed every word spoken and every silence endured. I have measured every embrace given, and every goodbye spoken or left unsaid. Nothing was wasted. Some friendships shifted because the soil you are now called to plant in requires different companions, ones who will water your dreams instead of inadvertently hindering their growth. The ones who drifted were repositioned, not erased. Their impact remains woven into your tapestry. Their fingerprints still present on chapters that shaped you. Bless them for what they offered. Release them without bitterness. Recognize that some are being used elsewhere now, fulfilling their parts in other gardens where their presence is needed for a different harvest. You must not mourn what was real for its appointed time. Instead, lift your eyes and prepare to embrace those I am bringing into your life for this new season. There are alignments ahead that will not merely accompany your walk but will advance your calling. Voices that will not just echo your thoughts but sharpen your discernment. Hands that will not only hold yours in comfort but will labor beside you in purpose. Trust my weaving. Trust the divine repositioning even when it feels like tearing. Just as seasons shift naturally, winter yielding to spring, summer giving way to autumn, so do the relational tides within your life. It is not a sign of instability. It is a sign of movement, of maturity, of stepping into greater measures of what I created you to carry. Be free from resentment toward those who could not stay. Be free from guilt over roads you can no longer walk side by side. Neither they nor you failed the journey. The journey simply demanded a different company for different terrain. I have not forgotten the love shared, the prayers lifted, the dreams once intertwined. I honor them, and so should you. But I also call you to move without chains to what has concluded. Your destiny is too precious to be entangled by nostalgia. There are new conversations waiting, new friendships already being formed in the unseen, new partnerships that will feel like they were always meant to be. Let gratitude mark your memories and expectancy shape your future. I am not simply repositioning others. I am repositioning you. You will be placed among those whose hearts beat with the same eternal rhythms. You will find yourself encouraged in ways you have not known before, sharpened with wisdom you could not reach alone, strengthened in community designed not by your choosing, but by my hand. Look ahead. Trust my arrangements. Trust that every friendship you release or redefine creates room for the relationships perfectly appointed for the steps you are now taking. Nothing is lost in my kingdom. Everything surrendered is repositioned for greater glory. There are locations etched into your memory where your soul once found comfort, where seasons of growth and laughter unfolded, where prayers were answered and dreams first began to breathe. These places served you well, nurturing you for a time, giving you shelter when storms raged outside, offering a sense of belonging when the world felt uncertain. But even sacred spaces have seasons. Even the most beloved grounds have a boundary to their assignment in your life. What once fed you cannot sustain you indefinitely when I am calling you into wider fields. Places that felt permanent were, in fact, temporary sanctuaries arranged for specific phases of your journey. The walls that once embraced you now feel tighter because your spirit has outgrown the parameters they provided. You have wondered why the joy you once felt there has shifted, why the peace that used to meet you so easily now feels strained. It is not because you have failed. It is not because the place itself became broken. It is because you have fulfilled what was meant to happen within those borders. The assignment of that ground is complete. What was once a garden for you to cultivate is now a vineyard whose fruit has already been harvested. To stay would not bring more flourishing. It would stifle the new growth waiting to emerge in a land yet unseen. Places, like people, are part of the orchestration of your development. Some locations are meant to be green pastures for restoration. Others are training grounds where perseverance is forged. Each place carried treasures for its time, lessons that could not have been learned elsewhere, shaping your endurance, expanding your capacity to trust me when paths twisted unexpectedly. You carry those treasures within you now. They have been woven into your spirit, imprinted upon your story. They do not disappear simply because you leave the location where they were received. Moving forward does not dishonor what was. It honors the fullness of what was given by acknowledging that it accomplished its purpose. Sentimentality will tempt you to stay, to recreate moments that were never meant to be repeated. Familiarity will whisper that safe memories are better than uncertain promises. But my spirit moves forward, not backward. I do not lead you in circles around monuments of past seasons. I lead you from glory to glory, from revelation to greater revelation. If you linger too long in places whose assignments are complete, you will begin to feel confined instead of covered, restless instead of rooted. Trust the stirring within you that signals movement. Trust the holy discomfort that urges your spirit to seek out the next stretch of road. I have already prepared new ground ahead, places saturated with fresh anointing, fields rich with opportunities to carry what you have gained into deeper fulfillment. You are not forsaking the places that once sheltered you. You are carrying their blessings forward into landscapes ready to receive the overflow. The memories you made do not lose their worth because the chapter changes. They become stones of remembrance, markers of my faithfulness throughout your journey. They are the evidence that where I led you once, I will lead you again. Your story is not confined to one address, one city, one familiar setting. It is a living narrative unfolding under the hand of the author who knows every page yet to be turned. Trust that the same God who met you there will meet you here, and will meet you still further ahead. Release the nostalgia that tries to chain you to what no longer fits. Give thanks for what was, but refuse to let it keep you from what is to come. Honor the home you once had, but do not make it your forever dwelling if I am beckoning you onward. New lands await your footprints. New territory waits for your obedience. New wells wait to spring up where your faith dares to dig again. Celebrate the closing of this space's assignment, knowing that it was never about the place itself. It was always about what I was doing within you while you were there. The journey is not ending. It is expanding. Home is not a fixed point on a map. Home is wherever my presence leads you next. There is a horizon stretching far beyond what your current surroundings can reveal. The terrain you have grown used to, the patterns you have learned to navigate, the sights you have come to expect, they have all served their purpose, but they cannot contain the fullness of what I have prepared. I am calling you now to lift your gaze higher than comfort zones, to raise your vision beyond the boundaries that once defined your world. Familiar landscapes may feel safe, but they also limit. They subtly convince you that what you see is all there is, that what you have known is the full measure of what you are capable of. Yet I have placed eternity within your spirit, and the dreams I have sown into your heart cannot be housed within small enclosures. If you keep your eyes at the same level, you will continue to walk in circles around terrain already conquered. But if you dare to lift your eyes, you will glimpse fields yet untouched, mountains yet climbed, oceans yet crossed. My voice does not echo from yesterday's safe places. It calls from the peaks you have not yet dared to ascend. I am not leading you toward repetition. I am leading you toward revelation. Lift your eyes from the familiar not because it was bad, but because it is no longer big enough for the story I am unfolding through your life. The comfort of the known can never compare to the thrill of stepping into the greater unknown with me. You were not created to live within fences built by fear or by former successes. You were made to explore the vastness of my promises, to discover depths of faith and courage that have been waiting for your yes. Do not let the ease of predictability anchor your soul when the wind of my spirit is stirring for movement. Look higher. Look beyond. See with the eyes of faith that I have trained through every previous trial, every former victory. Familiar landscapes may remind you of where you have been, but unfamiliar territories will show you who you are becoming. There is more strength within you than you have yet seen. There are greater visions waiting to be awakened, greater works prepared for your hands, greater revelations ready to flood your understanding. None of these can be fully realized while your focus remains tethered to the ground you have already walked. I am extending an invitation, not demanding a departure. I am whispering to the adventurous spirit I placed inside you when I knit you together. I am stirring the dreams that once felt too daring to name. There are places I long to take you, paths marked out before you ever drew your first breath, assignments carefully crafted that only you can fulfill because of the journey you have walked. But to step into them, you must first see them. And to see them, you must lift your eyes from the safe repetition of the known into the endless possibilities of my plans. Fear will try to tether your gaze downward. It will whisper that change is dangerous, that movement invites risk, that reaching higher guarantees falling harder. Silence its lies with the truth of who I am. I do not call you into greater territory to abandon you on the way. I do not lift your eyes so you may despair at the distance. I lift your eyes so you may see the armies of angels surrounding you, the provision already laid out before you, the open doors swinging wide at my command. Familiar landscapes fed you for a season. New landscapes will flourish you for a lifetime. Lift your eyes even if your legs still tremble. Lift them even if your heart pounds with uncertainty. What you see when you look higher will ignite a fire within you that no storm can extinguish. Vision is the fuel for destiny. Perspective is the anchor for perseverance. What you focus on will either empower your movement or paralyze it. I am calling you to see differently so that you can move differently. Let go of the need to understand every detail before you look up. Trust that the upward gaze will bring clarity step by step. Your journey was never meant to plateau in the familiar. It was designed to ascend, from glory to glory, from revelation to greater revelation. Lift your eyes, and you will find that what once seemed impossible is merely the beginning of what I have always intended for you to walk in. Hidden beyond the threshold of your current steps lies a land specifically prepared with your name inscribed upon it. This territory cannot be glimpsed from where you now stand. It does not reveal itself to those who cling to former seasons. Its pathways unfold only to those who move forward in trust, who release what is finished so their hands are free to receive what is waiting. There are inheritances stored up that have remained unseen because they are activated not by sight, but by obedience. You have prayed for newness, cried out for greater purpose, longed to step into all I have promised, and the answer has always been waiting, not in the staying, but in the stepping. Farewell is the key that unlocks what has been hidden until now. It is not enough to dream of the future while remaining anchored to the past. You must move your feet, lift your voice in surrender, and trust that what I have kept hidden was never withheld, only waiting for the appointed moment when your faith was ready to carry it. I have been faithful to cultivate strength in you for this very transition. The unseen territory is not random. It has been intentionally designed with every gift, every lesson, every scar, every prayer you have sown. It is the place where the seeds planted in pain will sprout into harvests you cannot yet imagine. But it will not reveal itself to hesitation. It responds only to trust, only to steps that walk away from what is familiar toward what is promised. I have gone before you to secure the ground. I have cleared obstacles you cannot see. I have appointed divine encounters that await your arrival, timed perfectly with your obedience. Every provision necessary to thrive in this next place has already been spoken into existence by my word. You are not moving into barrenness. You are moving into abundance crafted for this exact time. Yet it remains unseen until you take the step that feels like loss but is, in reality, promotion. If you cling to what has expired, your vision will remain clouded. The longer you delay farewell, the more distant the glimpse of what I am unveiling. Fear will paint the unknown as a void. Faith will reveal it as a field ready for planting, for building, for inhabiting with my glory. What you consider risky, I see as readiness. What you fear leaving, I see as a completed assignment. I am not pushing you into the unknown to test you. I am inviting you into your inheritance to fulfill you. The destiny I have written over your life requires new ground, fresh soil, untrodden paths where miracles wait to unfold. There are wells of provision that will only spring up when you place your foot onto the ground I have prepared. There are doors of opportunity that will remain closed to a heart unwilling to move. But every step forward, even the trembling ones, even the ones taken through tears, releases my power into places you thought you could never reach. I have reserved relationships that will nourish your growth, mentors that will sharpen your gifts, assignments that will stretch your faith, rewards that will far outweigh the cost of letting go. This is not a cruel test. It is a divine unveiling. You are not stepping into empty wilderness. You are stepping into fulfillment that eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor has it entered into the heart of man what I have prepared for those who love me. Trust the process that demands farewell. Trust the stirring that will not let you settle. Trust the discontent that rises when you try to camp where I have lifted the cloud. Movement is the sound of destiny being awakened. It is the sound of your spirit aligning with my spirit's call forward. I am not asking you to move blindly. I am asking you to move confidently, knowing that what I have promised is certain even when it remains unseen for a time. Lift your foot. Take the step. Release the past. Welcome the unseen with the certainty that I lead only into life, only into fullness, only into glory upon glory. Your territory is waiting, but the step of farewell must come first. Walk forward with courage. The moment you move, the hidden will become visible, and you will know that every sacrifice was a bridge into promises kept safe until now. It is natural to feel the pull of emotions when a chapter closes, to glance backward at what once was with tenderness and longing. But I am asking you to shift your focus, to anchor your heart not in what is fading, but in what is beginning. Mourning belongs to endings that are without hope. Your farewell is not that kind. It is the doorway to fulfillment. It is the threshold to promises long prepared for your arrival. Every goodbye wrapped in my purpose is a prelude to greater joy. If you fix your eyes solely on what is passing, you will miss the wonder of what is unfolding. What you are leaving behind has played its part. It has poured into you what it was designed to, and it has completed its course. Now your spirit must turn forward, not weighed down by sadness but lifted by expectation. You are not losing your story. You are enlarging it. You are not being emptied, you are being expanded. I have seen the tears you shed in secret, the way your heart has struggled to loosen its grip on seasons that once felt eternal. I honor your gratitude for the roads that brought you here. But gratitude must now give way to celebration, to the bright anticipation of everything ahead. You must understand that my calling on your life is always forward-facing. I am not in the shadows of yesterday. I am in the radiant dawn of the new. Every experience you have gathered, every lesson you have learned, every battle you have endured has equipped you for this crossing. Celebrate the strength you have gained. Rejoice in the resilience that was forged when you thought you could not endure. Look at how far you have come, not with sadness over what is closing, but with awe over the one who carried you through it all. You are standing at the edge of something far too precious to waste time in mourning. There is laughter waiting on the other side of your surrender. There is peace waiting to fill the spaces left open by your farewell. There is abundance flowing even now toward the ground your feet have not yet touched. I am not asking you to deny the significance of what you are releasing. I am asking you to view it through the lens of my sovereignty. What you are stepping into has been built brick by brick from every surrendered moment, every obedient yes, every unseen act of trust. The foundation is sure because I laid it. The structure is sound because I shaped it. You are walking into plans that were whispered over you before time began. This is not the end of your story. It is the elevation of it. Let joy be the anthem that accompanies your steps. Let praise be the song that breaks through the clouds of hesitation. Let excitement rise within you, stronger than fear, deeper than grief. You are not stepping into uncertainty alone. You are stepping into certainty wrapped in my presence. I have already marked the path with my promises. I have already lit the way with my word. I have already secured your future with my blood. Lift your eyes from what is fading and fix them on the one who never changes. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever, and I am the author of your unfolding story. Let your hands, once heavy with sorrow, now lift in worship. Let your voice, once weighed down with goodbye, now sing of beginnings. The season behind you was beautiful, but the one ahead carries a greater glory. You have been faithful with little, now you will be entrusted with much. You have been faithful in hiddenness, now you will be released into influence. Do not let the echo of the past drown out the invitation of the future. Celebrate that you are moving at my command. Celebrate that you are walking into fulfillment, not away from it. Celebrate that every sacrifice hath been a seed, and the harvest is near. You are crossing over, and you will not cross empty-handed. You will carry the treasures of your journey into lands you have not yet seen. Rejoice, not because you are leaving, but because you are arriving. What you are stepping into is greater than what you are stepping away from. This is your time to rise, to sing, to dance forward into everything I have promised. Let celebration be your banner, for your journey into greater begins now. Before your first step forward, before the thought of farewell entered your mind, I had already gone ahead of you. My spirit stands beyond this threshold, not as a distant hope, but as a present help prepared to meet you with strength the moment your foot moves in faith. You are not journeying toward emptiness, nor are you chasing promises that will slip through your grasp. Every instruction I give is wrapped in the assurance that I myself am already established in the places I call you to walk into. I do not ask you to obey from afar, I draw you forward into my waiting presence. The moment your heart yields and your will aligns with mine, you collide with grace greater than you have ever experienced before. I am not preparing to meet you once you prove your loyalty. I have already set my spirit to encompass you the instant you say yes. Where fear predicts abandonment, I promise encounter. Where doubt forecasts isolation, I assure communion. Your obedience does not create my presence, it reveals it. What has seemed hidden will rush into view as you move forward. Doors will swing open that remained invisible while you stayed still. Answers that once felt elusive will unfold naturally as you step into the flow of my spirit's leading. Every resource needed is waiting at the place of surrender. Every confirmation you seek will be discovered not by retreat, but by advance. You are not stepping into darkness, you are stepping into the brilliance of my unfolding will. My spirit is already building bridges where you feared there would be gaps. My spirit is establishing favor where you imagined rejection. My spirit is planting provision where you only saw barren ground. You will not arrive at the place of obedience and find me absent. You will arrive and find me enthroned, ready to pour out blessings shaped specifically for this moment of trust. I know how your heart wrestles with the invisible. I know how uncertainty strains against your longing for reassurance. That is why I do not ask you to manufacture faith out of emptiness. I call you to respond to the reality that I have already laid before you, a reality rooted not in what you see, but in who I am. Every step you take is not a gamble. It is a journey into promises sealed long before you face these choices. Your obedience is not a lonely march through a known terrain. It is a meeting point with destiny. I have positioned angels to guard your steps. I have prepared divine encounters that will confirm your path. I have already aligned the timing of your arrival with breakthroughs waiting to be released. There is nothing passive about what lies ahead. It is charged with divine orchestration, pulsing with opportunities to walk in authority, to live in the fullness of what I have destined you for. This is why hesitation cannot be your companion any longer. Delay robs you of revelation. Fear blinds you to provision. But obedience unveils the treasures hidden for those who trust. I am not asking for perfection in your journey. I am asking for willingness. I can guide a moving heart far easier than a stalled one. I can redirect your steps if you stumble, but I cannot force your feet to leave places you refuse to surrender. Trust that where I lead, I also dwell. Trust that where I send you, I also sustain you. Trust that on the other side of your yes, I am not simply waiting, I am welcoming you into the spaces crafted by my own hands for your growth, your joy, your impact. Lift your eyes from the ground that feels shaky and look into the horizon where my spirit stands with open arms. See that your obedience is not a crossing into uncertainty, but an entry into communion deeper than you have yet known. The moment your heart yields fully, the atmosphere around you will shift. The weight you feared would crush you will dissolve into lightness. The confusion that clouded your vision will give way to clarity. The spirit that hovered at the edge of your longing will rush to meet you, to fill you, to propel you forward. Your obedience is not the end of comfort. It is the beginning of abundance. It is the bridge from wandering to wonder, from questioning to confidence. Step forward, and you will find me not just waiting, but celebrating your arrival with a joy that echoes through heaven itself. Every step you take at my command is leading you closer, not into confusion, but into completion. Though your surroundings may sometimes seem unfamiliar, and the terrain may feel uncertain, you are not moving blindly. You are moving by divine design. You are not stepping into shadows. You are stepping into substance. What lies before you is not a void, but a fulfillment of promises carefully planted in your spirit long before you recognize their shape. I have been orchestrating every detail to bring you to this precise moment where what I spoke over you becomes visible, tangible, undeniable. The temptation to fear is strong when you cannot yet see the full picture. But fear is a liar that paints the unknown as a threat. I am the truth who reveals that the unknown is simply unexplored beauty waiting to be claimed by your obedience. Darkness is not your destination. Destiny is. Every promise you have held on to through seasons of drought, every prayer you whispered when the silence was deafening, every hope you dared not speak aloud, all of it is converging now into a season of unveiling. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are being guided purposefully. You are not stepping off a cliff. You are walking through a gate. You are not losing yourself in obscurity. You are finding your truest identity in my unfolding plan. I have prepared the ground you are about to tread. I have laid out wells of provision and altars of remembrance along the way. You will not find barrenness ahead. You will find abundance. What your natural eyes cannot yet perceive, your spirit has already begun to recognize: the stirring, the pull, the holy anticipation that refuses to be silenced. These are not signals of danger. They are signs that your fulfillment is near. Every previous season has been preparing you for this crossing. The trials shaped your resilience. The waiting deepened your roots. The hiddenness refined your character. Now the time has come to step into the visible upworking of all that was cultivated in secret. You are moving toward promises that have been safeguarded until you were ready to receive them. You are walking into fields you did not plant, but will be called to harvest. You are entering rooms you once felt unqualified for, now clothed in authority that only obedience can birth. I have gone before you to illuminate every step, even if the entire path is not yet visible. I am not hiding fulfillment from you. I am leading you into it moment by moment. Trust that as you move, more will be revealed. Trust that the small lights along the way are enough to guide you into the vastness waiting ahead. You do not need to see everything at once to be sure you are moving in the right direction. You need only to keep your heart anchored in my voice, your feet responsive to my leading. Fulfillment is not found in understanding every detail before you begin. It is found in trusting the one who holds every detail in his hands. I am not setting you up for disappointment. I am positioning you for divine appointments. I am not luring you into uncertainty. I am calling you into the certainty of my promises fulfilled in my perfect timing. Every yes you have given me, every tear sown in faith, every step taken against the tide of fear has been building to this. You are not stepping into confusion but into clarity. You are not entering obscurity but stepping into impact. The fulfillment you are walking into will not only satisfy the deepest longings of your own heart, it will ripple outward, touching lives, transforming atmospheres, expanding my kingdom through your obedience. This is not the end of a dream. It is the birth of reality shaped by my promises, Let hope rise stronger than hesitation. Let joy carry you further than doubt can reach. Let peace be the shoes on your feet as you walk confidently into all that I have prepared. Lift your head. Straighten your shoulders. Set your face like flint. The path ahead is not darkened with uncertainty. It is bright with fulfillment. You are not stepping into loss. You are stepping into everything your spirit has longed for but could not yet name. And I am with you at every step, guiding, providing, celebrating as you move forward into the fullness of all I have destined for you to become. There are battles you have faced that seem to linger longer than your strength could bear. Threats that shadowed your days and anxieties that whispered through your nights. But hear this truth clearly now. Those battles belong to the ground you are leaving behind. The fears that once loomed large before you will not accompany you into the territory I have prepared. The enemies that once knew your name in the wilderness will not recognize you in the land of promise. They were permitted to sharpen you, to teach your hands to war and your fingers to fight, but they have no claim on your future. The intimidation they once held over your heart has been broken by the authority you have gained through perseverance. You are not the same as when those threats first arose. You have been refined. You have been equipped. You have been marked by victory even in the midst of warfare. Their shadows will not darken your new horizon. Their accusations will not echo in the places I am leading you. You are crossing into a space where old battles lose their power. The giants that seemed immovable before have already fallen under the weight of my words spoken over your life. I have gone ahead and disarmed the fears that once paralyzed your steps. I have torn down the strongholds that once seemed insurmountable. As you move forward, you will realize that the roar of those former enemies was only loud because you were standing too close to their territory. The further you step into the new, the quieter their voices will become until they are nothing more than distant memories unable to reach you. No accusation from the past can hold you in the new. No shame from previous seasons can taint the ground I have sanctified for your arrival. The opposition you once faced was tied to a version of you that no longer exists. You are walking forward clothed in my righteousness, strengthened by my spirit, surrounded by my favor. There is a hedge around you that the enemy cannot penetrate. The fear that once dictated your pace now crumbles under the weight of my promises fulfilled in you. The intimidation that used to shrink your dreams now collapses at the sound of your obedience. You will not be dragged backward by battles that have already been won. You will not be held hostage by memories that have no power over your new identity. I am setting a table before you in the presence of what once threatened you, and those threats will be forced to watch as you feast on my goodness. Their weapons have been rendered useless. Their authority has been stripped away. You are not moving into a new place merely to survive. You are moving into it to thrive, to build, to rule with the authority I have entrusted to you. This is why you must not look back with fear. This is why you must not second-guess the farewell I have called you to make. The enemies tied to your old battles cannot cross this threshold. Their permissions ended the moment you said yes to my greater call. Their reach was severed by your surrender. Your schemes fell apart the moment you chose faith over fear. Walk forward with your head held high, not because you are confident in yourself, but because you are anchored in me. Walk with the assurance that no weapon formed against you shall prosper in this new ground. Walk knowing that every tongue that rises against you will be silenced by the testimony of my favor resting on your life. I am your defender. I am your vindicator. I am your shield and your exceedingly great reward. The enemies that once intimidated you were part of the training, but they are not part of your inheritance. Your inheritance is peace that cannot be stolen, joy that cannot be quenched, authority that cannot be revoked. You will look for the enemies that once mocked you, and they will be nowhere to be found. Your season has ended. Your season has begun. Step boldly, knowing that every footstep you take is crushing fear beneath you. Every step forward is a declaration that you are no longer a prisoner to the voices of defeat. You are a carrier of victory, a living testimony that the God who promised is the God who delivers. Move without fear. Move with the certainty that the battles you have fought have paved the way for the triumph you are about to walk in without resistance. What lies ahead is not merely the absence of conflict, but the presence of a peace so profound it will reshape the way you breathe, think, move, and live. This is not a fragile peace built on temporary circumstances. It is the immovable peace that flows from my throne, untouched by the shifting sands of this world. You have tasted measures of my peace in the past, moments when my stillness settled over your spirit like a soft cloak. But what I am sending you into will be deeper, richer, more sustaining than anything you have yet encountered. It will not flicker with changing seasons. It will not depend on the approval of men or the alignment of conditions. It will reign like a sovereign force within you, anchoring your soul even when the winds rage around you. This peace will not simply calm storms. It will silence them before they reach your shores. It will not merely help you endure. It will empower you to build, to plant, to flourish in ways impossible under the weight of unrest. You will find that fear loses its voice in the atmosphere I am establishing around you. Anxiety will no longer find an open door to creep through. Doubt will wither under the constant light of my assurance. This place I am leading you to has been reserved for those willing to walk by faith, to trust beyond what their natural eyes can discern. It is a territory where my presence is the unshakable foundation, where my promises are the unbroken walls surrounding you. No weapon formed against you will prosper because peace itself will be your armor. You have endured seasons where survival was the only goal, where each day felt like a battle to maintain your footing. But now, I am shifting you from survival to stability, from grasping for moments of peace to dwelling in its constant embrace. The striving that once exhausted your spirit will cease. The striving to prove, to earn, to defend yourself, all of it will be washed away by the rivers of peace I am releasing. In this place, you will think differently. You will dream more freely. You will worship without the heavy yoke of distraction pressing against your heart. Creativity will blossom because fear will no longer choke it. Boldness will rise because uncertainty will no longer chain your voice. Love will pour through you without reservation because self-protection will no longer rule your instincts. You will recognize my peace not just as a feeling, but as an atmosphere, a kingdom reality you carry within you wherever you go. It will not be dependent on who accepts you or rejects you, who understands you or misunderstands you. It will be anchored solely in the fact that you are where I have called you to be, doing what I have created you to do, surrounded by my everlasting arms. You will not have to strive to maintain this peace. It will maintain you. It will guard your mind when lies attempt to creep in. It will fortify your heart when disappointments try to take root. It will lift your eyes when heaviness tries to bow your spirit. This peace will be a testimony in itself, a beacon that others will see and marvel at. They will wonder how you move so steadily when circumstances shift. They will question how you remain so joyful when reasons for sorrow seem apparent. And you will answer, not with many words, but with the radiance of one who knows what it means to abide in my rest. I am not sending you into chaos. I am sending you into conquest led by peace. I am not asking you to manufacture serenity through effort. I am inviting you to receive it as your inheritance. This is not a reward for perfection. It is a gift for those who dared to surrender, who chose to walk forward when the cost was high and the understanding was limited. You will find that even when battles arise, they will not have access to the core of your being. You will walk through trials with a steadiness that baffles those who watch. You will respond to challenges with a composure that testifies of my spirit alive within you. The place I am sending you into is saturated with my presence, and my presence is the source of perfect peace. Step forward knowing you are not stepping into striving, but into stillness that carries power, wisdom, and unshakable joy. This is the season where peace reigns, not at a distance, but within and all around you. Every step of surrender you take is not diminishing your influence. It is expanding your reach. The terrain you are leaving behind was necessary for the season it served, but it was never meant to be your final boundary. What may feel like a stripping away is actually the clearing of space to inhabit more, to walk wider paths, to claim promises that remained untouched while you lingered in places too small for what I have placed inside you. The territory before you is vast, not measured by land alone, but by the spiritual authority you will carry. Every choice to obey, every moment you trusted me when logic told you to retreat, has been enlarging your capacity. What once hemmed you in is being broken apart. What once defined your limits is now behind you, and what stretches ahead is filled with divine possibilities waiting to unfold. You are not moving backward. You are not shrinking. You are advancing into fullness. I have not led you into this crossing to diminish your life. I have led you here to expand it beyond what you thought possible. The doors that closed were not to push you out into nothingness, but to guide you toward doors already opened wide by my hand. Opportunities that align with your true identity are waiting. Assignments that resonate with your deepest calling are positioned just ahead. You are gaining ground with every faithful step, ground that will not have to be wrestled for endlessly, but ground that has already been promised and secured through my covenant with you. There will be signs as you move forward, confirmations that you are walking in alignment with my will. The fruit will bear witness. The peace will affirm. The unexpected favor will echo my voice saying, "This is the way. Walk in it." Lift your head from mourning what appears to be left behind, and fix your gaze on the horizon being unveiled before you. You are entering spaces where your gifts will make room for you without the striving that marked previous seasons. You are stepping into influence that will flow from being, not from exhausting effort. Authority is being entrusted to you because you have proven faithful when no one applauded and when outcomes were uncertain. The increase ahead is not just for your benefit. It is for the sake of those you are called to reach, to lift, to bless, to awaken. I am placing within your hands tools you did not even know you were being prepared to carry. Words that will heal. Actions that will restore. Wisdom that will unlock doors for others. Your advancement is not for vanity, it is for impact. The increase of territory is not about status. It is about stewardship. You are moving into a space where multiplication will happen naturally, dreams multiplying into realities, seeds multiplying into harvests, prayers multiplying into testimonies. The faithfulness of your hidden seasons is now yielding visible expansion. But remember, it is not by your might nor by your power, but by my Spirit. Your gain is not self-made. It is heaven-sent. You do not have to strive for this territory. You only have to walk into it with trust, humility, and obedience. It is already yours because I have declared it so. Resist the temptation to minimize the significance of where I am leading you. Resist the voices that try to make you doubt the validity of your calling. Silence the lies that tell you you are losing when every step forward is evidence of gaining. The empty spaces you feel behind you are not losses. They are openings. Openings for new wells to spring up. Openings for new relationships to be built. Openings for new visions to be fulfilled. Nothing you release in obedience leaves you poor. It positions you for abundance that cannot be taken away. Walk forward with a spirit ready to inhabit larger spaces. Move with the expectation that your footsteps are claiming ground for my kingdom. Speak with the confidence of one who knows they are carrying heaven's mandate. Love with the capacity of one who had been freed from fear. Build with the strength of one who knows the foundation will not crack beneath them. Every farewell to what was is making room for the territory that is coming. You are not retreating. You are not being reduced. You are not being forgotten. You are being positioned. You are being entrusted. You are being expanded. Gaining ground is not something you have to fight for alone. It is something you are stepping into because you chose to say yes when it would have been easier to stay comfortable. Keep moving. Greater territory is not ahead of you, it is under your feet, being claimed with every act of surrender and every step of faith you take. Even before you decided to obey my voice, I had already sent protection ahead of you. You do not walk alone into this new territory. I have assigned angels specifically to your path, guardians whose sole mission is to ensure that what I have spoken over your life comes to pass without interference from forces that cannot withstand my command. They have been positioned by my authority, moving invisibly to arrange what your eyes cannot yet see, battling on your behalf in realms you do not have to fight in yourself. Every step you take into this new season is surrounded by a covering that darkness cannot penetrate. These sentinels are not passive observers. They are active participants, charged with enforcing my purposes over your destiny. When you move at my instruction, their swords are drawn. When you obey despite fear, their shields rise around you. When you pray in faith, they are dispatched to bring about the answers I have ordained. They are not distant from your journey. They walk beside you, ensuring that every snare set by the enemy is dismantled before it reaches your feet. The traps, meant to delay you, are being exposed and dismantled before you ever approach them. The obstacles intended to intimidate you are being removed, their power nullified by the authority of my word spoken over your life. This is not a journey of chance. It is a journey under divine escort. I have not called you to move forward at your own risk. I have secured your passage, fortified your surroundings, assigned watchers on the walls who neither slumber nor sleep. Their presence is not based on your perfection but on my covenant. It is not your striving that summons their help. It is your alignment with my purpose that activates their assignments. Every time you trust me and step forward, heaven moves in agreement. You do not see the wars being waged in the unseen, but you will feel the peace that settles over your spirit as a result. You will notice the ease where resistance once seemed inevitable. You will sense the clarity where confusion tried to reign. These are the marks of angelic intervention aligned with my will for your life. Fear loses its power when you realize who marches with you. Doubt fades when you recognize that you are not advancing by your own strength, but by a host whose loyalty is to my throne and whose charge is your victory. You may feel alone at times when the path narrows, but in truth, you are surrounded by reinforcements far greater than any visible threat. I have commanded my angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways, to lift you up lest you stumble. Every prayer whispered in trust strengthens their movements. Every act of faith sharpens their readiness. Every surrender to my will fortifies the path they protect. They stand watch over the dreams I have placed within you. They guard the promises I have spoken. They fight for the fulfillment of the destiny I have assigned. You do not need to fear the unseen battles. You only need to continue walking, trusting that what surrounds you is greater than what opposes you. Every step forward is a declaration that heaven is backing your journey. Every decision to obey is a signal that the kingdom's forces are fully engaged on your behalf. You are not vulnerable. You are not exposed. You are defended by powers greater than the obstacles ahead. Let this truth settle deep into your spirit. I have not only called you, I have covered you. I have not only promised fulfillment, I have secured your safe arrival. You can walk without hesitation because my faithfulness undergirds your every move. Even when the path seems unclear to your natural mind, know that in the spiritual realm, every necessary preparation has been made. Assignments have been issued. Barriers have been removed. Strategies have been dismantled. Every enemy scheme collapses under the weight of my decree over your life. The angels assigned to you are relentless in their mission because they carry my authority. They will not leave you midway. They will not abandon their post. Their assignment is tied to my word, and my word never returns void. Step forward with assurance that you are not just walking toward promises. You are being ushered into them under divine protection. Your journey is watched over by heaven's armies, and their victory is certain because my throne reigns over all. The fears that once gripped your heart were never meant to follow you into this new place. Their presence was temporary, a training ground to teach you discernment, dependence, and deeper trust. But now the time has come to part ways with the voices that spoke limitation into your journey. Every step you take away from old fears is not just a step into freedom, it is a step into greater spiritual authority. What once caused you to hesitate will now serve as a testimony to the power of my overcoming spirit within you. The shadows that once loomed large will shrink in the light of the boldness I am clothing you with. Fear was never meant to be your master. It was only meant to reveal who your true master is. You answered my call in weakness, but now you move in strength. You trusted me trembling, but now you will advance with clarity. I have watched your battles with fear, not with disappointment, but with deep compassion, knowing that each time you chose my voice over the voice of dread, your authority was being forged. Authority is not given cheaply. It is refined in fire, earned through the refusal to bow when intimidation demands surrender. You have endured that refining, and now authority rests upon your life as a mantle, not as a borrowed garment, but as your rightful inheritance. The farewell to fear is not merely emotional, it is legal. I am severing its access to your identity. It will no longer have permission to dictate your decisions, define your worth, or diminish your vision. Where fear once confined you, authority will now release you. Where fear once silenced you, authority will now amplify your voice. Where fear once delayed you, authority will now accelerate your steps. You will speak and atmospheres will shift. You will pray and see walls crumble. You will move and find favor aligning before you, not because you strive, but because you walk under a mantle that fear can no longer contest. The authority I am placing on your life is not for show, it is for service. It is not for the pursuit of recognition, but for the fulfillment of purpose. You have been entrusted with this weight because you chose surrender over safety, obedience over comfort. You chose to trust when it cost you. You chose to stay faithful when fear offered easier exits. Now you will see the harvest of those choices. Greater authority is not just about influence. It is about impact. It is about releasing freedom into the lives of others still shackled by the chains you once wore. It is about speaking truth with a conviction born not of theory, but of victory lived and hard-won. This authority will not make you immune to challenges, but it will make you immovable in the face of them. It will not shield you from every battle, but it will guarantee that no battle can steal your peace. The territory I am giving you requires this authority. The doors opening before you require a voice unshaken by fear. The assignments being placed in your hands require a heart that has made peace with letting go of everything that once intimidated it. I am not calling you to merely visit this level of freedom. I am establishing you in it. You are stepping into a new way of being, a new way of seeing, a new way of carrying my spirit into the places I send you. There will be moments ahead when fear tries to resurrect its old arguments. Do not listen. Do not engage. Its voice is familiar, but it is no longer relevant. Its power has been broken. Its grip hath been shattered. Move with the assurance that authority, once given, is not easily revoked when it is protected by humility and sustained by dependence on me. Let your steps be marked by confidence, not arrogance, by assurance, not striding. Let your words carry weight, not because they are many, but because they are rooted in truth. Let your prayers be bold, not because of your strength, but because of your surrender. The farewell to fear is the coronation of authority. Lift your head. Straighten your back. Speak when I prompt you. Move when I lead you. Trust that the mantle resting on your life now is more powerful than any obstacle that will try to stand before you. You are not defined by what once intimidated you. You are defined by the one who conquered every fear and now calls you forward as a carrier of his authority. What once felt like loss will soon reveal itself as preparation for reception greater than you imagined. Every time you chose to release what I asked you to surrender, you were not losing pieces of your story, you were making room for new beginnings carefully crafted by my hands. Every goodbye whispered through tears was not the end of connection, but the opening of doors you could not yet see. I counted each moment of your obedience not as abandonment of good things, but as sacred trust placed in me to exchange them for what is best. The welcomes ahead will not merely match what you left behind, they will far exceed them. Relationships richer in purpose, opportunities dripping with destiny, assignments pulsing with my breath, all are waiting just beyond the horizon you are approaching. You will stand in spaces you once thought were out of reach, welcome not because of striving but because you were willing to let go when I asked. The welcomes will come as confirmations that my ways are higher, my thoughts deeper, and my plans infinitely better than anything you tried to preserve by your own strength. You will see that the pain of parting was never wasted. It softened your heart to receive joy in fuller measure. It stripped away attachments that would have diluted your capacity to steward new gifts. It cleared the way for abundance to rush in unhindered. Nothing surrendered in faith is ever discarded. It is transformed, multiplied, resurrected into something far greater than what you initially understood. I saw the moments when you looked back with aching heart, wondering if you made the right choice. I saw the nights when the silence of loss echoed loudly around you. And I was there, planting seeds in the soil of your obedience, seeds that are even now beginning to break through the surface with signs of new life. You are closer than you realize to the season of welcomes. Invitations are being written in heaven with your name on them. New doors are swinging open not because you forced them but because you were faithful to wait for my timing. The welcomes will be undeniable, marked by favor that no one can explain apart from my hand. They will carry a weight of joy so heavy that it will press out every remaining fragment of grief from past farewells. You will step into atmospheres where the heaviness of goodbye is replaced with the lightness of destiny fulfilled. You will be embraced by purpose that feels as natural as breathing, surrounded by people who see you not through the lens of past seasons but through the calling I have always seen written over you. The welcomes will feel like coming home to places you have never physically been but for which your spirit has long been prepared. There will be moments ahead when you catch your breath in awe, realizing that if you had stayed attached to what was, you would have missed what now stands before you. You will praise me not just for the welcomes but for the wisdom hidden within every goodbye. You will testify that my pruning was never punishment, it was always promotion. You will see that the space created by surrender has become the very ground upon which new dreams are built. The welcomes will not only bless you, they will equip you to bless others. Out of the overflow you receive, you will pour into those who are still standing at the crossroads of goodbye and welcome. You will become a living testament to the truth that my ways, though often mysterious, are always trustworthy. Hold your head high as you walk forward. Expect to be welcomed. Expect doors to open. Expect promises to manifest not because you forced them, but because you trusted me enough to let go when it was hardest. You are moving from seasons of farewell into seasons of fulfillment. The welcomes ahead will redeem every tear shed in letting go. They will reaffirm every quiet decision to obey when others did not understand. They will stand as monuments to my faithfulness, proving that no surrender was ever in vain. Every goodbye you surrendered birthed something far more glorious than you could have dreamed. And now, the time is coming for you to step into the welcomes prepared since the foundations of the world, crafted perfectly for you. The expectations you built around how and when things should unfold were never meant to be the standard you measured my faithfulness by. The schedule you once clung to was shaped by limited understanding, framed by pressures you could see but not by the full scope of what I was orchestrating behind the scenes. I never designed your journey to fit neatly into human timetables. My movements are not rushed by fear, nor are they delayed by resistance. They are perfectly synchronized with what brings the greatest glory through your life. When you demanded answers according to your own clock, I was still working on your behalf. When disappointment crept in because milestones seemed delayed, I was aligning outcomes that would outshine the temporary relief you once thought you needed. I am not late. I am never careless. I am weaving strands together that would remain invisible to you until their full beauty is revealed at exactly the right moment. The tie line you thought was crucial was only a training ground to teach you deeper trust. It is not your role to manage the clock. It is your role to stay yielded. You must release the pressure that whispers you are behind, that life is slipping away, that you missed critical windows of opportunity. In my kingdom, time bends to my will, and restoration is always possible. What you thought had an expiration date still rests safely in my hands. Let go of the calendar you built around your dreams. Let go of the milestones you thought should have been reached by now. Let go of the silent comparisons you have made between your journey and those around you. Their paths are not your blueprint. Your pace is not your assignment. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not being punished for trusting me when the process took longer than you imagined. Every pause and purpose, every delay was a refinement. Every moment that stretched longer than you expected was a furnace forging endurance, deepening your ability to carry what is now coming with greater weight of glory. I am never merely concerned with your arrival. I am deeply invested in your becoming. If I had rushed the timeline to match your early prayers, you would have stepped into blessings you were not fully ready to sustain. Now you will stand not only in fulfillment but in maturity. Now you will carry the promise with character, wisdom, and resilience that trials have etched into your spirit. Let go of the frustration that things did not happen sooner. Embrace the wisdom that they are happening exactly when they should. When my timing is revealed, it will be undeniable. It will be beautiful in a way delay could never diminish. It will redeem the waiting, transform the weeping, and justify the trust you chose to place in me even when logic demanded you walk away. You will see that I was never indifferent to the urgency you felt. I simply refused to trade temporary gratification for eternal fruit. I have seen the calendars you marked, the deadlines you prayed over, the silent countdowns you kept tucked away in the corners of your heart. I honored the heart behind them even as I quietly dismantled the parts that would have limited you. I took your hopes and held them safely until they could unfold without distortion, without compromise, without harm. Trust me with the timeline, just as you trusted me with the outcome. Trust that nothing precious has been lost in the wait, only refined. Trust that what you are stepping into now will carry a sweetness that would have been impossible had I rushed you to it. Trust that your story is not off track, not lesser, not abandoned, but precisely on course with what heaven has written for you. Release the timelines built on earthly measurements. Step into the cadence of grace. Move to the rhythm of trust, not the ticking of clocks. What is coming will not be 1 second too late, and when it arrives, you will realize that it could not have been birthed at any other time but now. You are not lagging behind destiny, you are arriving exactly when the gates of fulfillment swing wide at my command. Every time you felt stretched beyond what you thought you could endure, it was not a sign of failure or punishment, it was evidence that I was expanding you. Growth rarely feels comfortable in the moment. It presses against the edges of your old limitations. It challenges the structures you once relied upon, and it demands a surrender of what used to be enough so that greater measures can take root. I never stretched you to break you, I stretched you to enlarge you. I was forming within you a greater capacity to carry what you had been praying for, even when you did not recognize it. The tension you lived through was sacred, even though it felt painful. It signaled that your spirit was being prepared for weightier promises, deeper responsibilities, and broader influence. You were being shaped not for survival, but for stewardship. The discomfort was not a detour, it was part of the design. Had you remained within the familiar boundaries of ease, your spirit would have grown complacent. But I have called you to more than comfort. I have called you to kingdom impact. I have destined you to carry more of my heart, more of my glory, more of my authority, and that required making room where there once was none. The old wineskin could not contain the new wine. The structures that served you in past seasons could not sustain the outpouring I am releasing now. It was necessary that you be stretched, necessary that you felt the strain of expanding vision, expanding faith, expanding dreams. Though it felt like pulling apart, it was actually the weaving together of strength upon strength. You were not being dismantled. You were being rebuilt from the inside out. Every season where you felt beyond your own strength was a season where I was planting deeper reliance on me. Every moment when you questioned if you could continue was an invitation for my grace to carry you further than your own willpower ever could. Stretching revealed where your resources ended so that you would encounter mine, which are endless. Stretching exposed where fear still whispered, so that faith could answer louder. Stretching pushed you beyond shallow waters into the deep places where true intimacy with me is found. It refined your motives, clarified your vision, and purified your hunger. And now, because of what you endured, your hands are ready to receive more than you once could hold. Your heart is prepared to love deeper than you once thought possible. Your mind is capable of stewarding wisdom that previously would have overwhelmed you. What once seemed too heavy will now feel like a natural extension of who you have become through my refining. Stretching was never meant to leave you brittle. It has made you flexible, resilient, unshakable. The roots that grew during the pressure will now anchor you when new winds arise. The muscles built in the unseen will now empower you to run when others grow weary. Where you once doubted your ability to carry more, you will now move with ease, not because the journey has grown lighter, but because you have grown stronger. This new capacity is not for your benefit alone. It is so you can pour out more into the lives of others. It is so you can withstand pressures that would crush those not prepared. It is so you can carry assignments that impact generations beyond your own. Nothing was wasted in the stretching. Not a single tear, not a single late-night prayer, not a single step taken when everything inside you wanted to retreat. All of it has been woven into the very fabric of who you are becoming. You will soon recognize that what once stretched you now strengthens you. You will look back and see that the moments you thought would break you were actually birthing new resilience, new authority, new endurance. The stretching was proof that I was preparing you for more, not less. The pain was temporary, but the expansion is eternal. You are now stepping into the fulfillment of what the stretching made possible. Walk forward with the knowledge that you are no longer who you once were. You have been enlarged to fit the calling that once seemed too big for you. And the one who stretched you is the same one who now sends you forward, fully equipped, fully ready, fully aligned with the greater purposes yet to be revealed. There were moments when you felt you had reached the end of yourself, when every step forward seemed impossible, when strength seemed drained and hope wore thin. But what you saw as your breaking point, I saw as the threshold of transformation. It was necessary that you confront those perceived limits, because without that confrontation, you would have unknowingly confined yourself to smaller assignments, safer paths, and lesser dreams than what I have written for you. What felt like being pushed past your capacity was actually the unveiling of capacity you did not realize you carried. I was not trying to destroy your spirit. I was awakening it. I was drawing out gifts buried beneath layers of fear, summoning endurance forged in fire, shaping a faith that could not be shaken by circumstance. I was preparing you to bear weight that others could not see, to carry influence that would not crush you, to steward blessings that demand depth, not just surface readiness. You had to grow because the doors opening before you are larger than the ones you have known. You had to stretch because the territories you are stepping into require a spirit resilient enough to thrive where others would falter. The responsibilities now forming around your life are not accidental. They are tailored to the character I have painstakingly cultivated within you during the hidden seasons. It was not cruelty that led you to wrestle with your limits. It was my kindness refusing to let you settle for a life too small for the dreams I placed inside you. Every challenge, every delay, every detour pressed you beyond comfort for a reason. They exposed the places where reliance on your own strength would have failed you, and they redirected your dependence fully onto me. It is only when the surface cracks that the deeper foundation is revealed. You were never meant to live bound by your perceived limitations. You were made to live by the limitless supply of my spirit within you. What you thought was the edge was actually the beginning. What you feared was collapse was, in reality, expansion happening at a level deeper than you could comprehend in the moment. I saw the quiet moments when you wondered if you had misunderstood the call because of the cost it demanded. I heard the questions that rose when you compared your journey to paths that seemed smoother, quicker, easier. Yet here you stand, stronger, wiser, more anchored than ever before, ready to receive the more that lesser paths could never have prepared you for. The doors opening now are not casual invitations. They are sacred trust. They require someone who knows what it means to walk through fire without losing heart, who knows what it means to keep building when results are not immediate, who knows how to stay faithful when applause is absent. You are that one. Not because you never struggled, but because you never quit. You persevered when the ground was dry. You worshiped when answers were delayed. You believed when evidence was scarce. And now, because you allowed me to grow you beyond what you thought you could endure, you are ready to steward more. This more is not simply about accumulation. It is about impact. It is about carrying my heart into spaces desperate for healing, carrying my light into places gripped by shadow, carrying my truth into territories where compromise has long reigned. You had to grow because small thinking could not birth the dreams I have placed within you. You had to grow because shallow faith could not sustain the heights I am lifting you into. You had to grow because the vision I have for you is too precious to risk by sending you prematurely. Now you will step into assignments that once would have overwhelmed you, but now will fit you like a tailored garment. You will walk through challenges that would have broken the old you, but now will only reveal greater layers of grace operating through you. You will see opportunities unfold that once seemed unattainable, now flowing naturally because your spirit has been enlarged to receive them. Let go of mourning the process that stretched you. Embrace the reality that it prepared you for greatness that could not be rushed, for blessings that required a deeper well than you once had. I am entrusting you with more because you have proven faithful with little. I am entrusting you with greater influence because you chose obedience when comfort called louder. I am entrusting you with legacy, not just success, because you let me write a story deeper than convenience. The more you are stepping into is not a surprise. It is the fulfillment of every silent yes whispered in the secret place. The opportunities now set before you are not invitations for who you used to be. They are designed for who you have become through the refining fires you endured. The trials were not random. They were not meaningless detours. They were the necessary preparation for a future that required strength formed through perseverance, wisdom born through waiting, and discernment sharpened by adversity. The doors that are swinging open now would have overwhelmed the earlier version of you. They would have burdened you beyond what you could carry or tempted you away from the foundation I have established within you. But today, you stand ready, not by accident, but by the work done deep within you in hidden places where no applause sounded and no audience watched. You emerged not weaker, but stronger. Not bitter, but better. Not broken beyond repair, but built with endurance that can only be formed through trials embraced with faith. The refining has positioned you to step into spaces where responsibility is greater, influence is weightier, and impact is eternal. I have not simply opened doors of opportunity, I have tailored them to the exact dimensions of who you are now. These doors will not flatter the ego. They will not pander to shallow desires. They will resonate with the calling I engraved onto your spirit before time began. You will find that when you walk through them, you do not have to force what comes next. The fit will be natural because you have been shaped precisely for this season. Trust that the hardships you face were not signs of disqualification but confirmations of preparation. Every setback was a setup for greater perseverance. Every disappointment was a divine appointment to deepen your dependence on me. Every delay was an invitation to strengthen your spirit until you could carry the weight of what is now being entrusted to you. The version of you emerging from the furnace is resilient enough to build what others only dream about. You will walk through doors not just with vision but with strategy, not just with passion but with endurance, not just with excitement but with maturity. What lies ahead demands more than enthusiasm, it demands stability, and you have it now. It demands faith that does not falter when opposition rises, and you possess it now. The doors opening before you are not designed for the hurried or the hasty. They are built for the patient, for the yielded, for the ones who have been formed by the gentle yet relentless hand of a faithful God. You will find favor in places where once you were overlooked. You will find invitations extended where once there were closed gates. You will find that what seemed delayed was not denial, it was preparation for a reveal timed perfectly with the unveiling of the fullness I cultivated within you. No season of waiting was wasted. No moment of pressing was purposeless. The depth formed during those silent years will now be the very thing that sustains you when new pressures arise. The peace developed in secret will be your anchor when responsibilities increase. The joy fought for in the midst of sorrow will be your strength when new doors demand fresh endurance. These openings are not rewards for survival. They are appointments for expansion. They are aligned with the identity you have now embraced, an identity rooted not in circumstances but in my unchanging word over your life. Step forward without apology for the growth that has occurred. You not shrink back into smaller versions of yourself to make others comfortable. You not second-guess the doors simply because they feel bigger than what you once thought possible. They are bigger because you are bigger inside than you have ever been before. I have not merely rebuilt you. I have enlarged you. I have not just healed what was broken. I have multiplied what remained. The places you are stepping into require the fullness of who you are now, the healed parts, the strengthened parts, the surrendered parts. Embrace that the journey shaped you for exactly this. Walk through these doors knowing they are not accidental opportunities. They are divine alignments crafted for the vessel you have become. They await the one who persevered when quitting seemed easier, who trusted when clarity was absent, who surrendered when holding on felt safer. The version of you that stands today refined, resilient, radiant is exactly who I intended to carry the next chapters of glory. The path behind you no longer holds your future. The places you once stood, the roles you once occupied, the battles you once fought, none of them can contain the magnitude of what I am unfolding before you now. What once was necessary for your growth has now served its purpose. The farewell you offered was not just to people or places, it was to mindsets, limitations, and assignments that are no longer your portion. The season for glancing backward has ended. To hesitate now would be to deny the very prayers you once pleaded with me to answer. You asked for new beginnings, for greater influence, for deeper intimacy, and I have answered by calling you forward, away from the shores of comfort into the oceans of destiny. There is no retreat in the language of the kingdom. Forward is the only direction I am moving, and I am inviting you to move with me. The familiar may call out to you with tempting nostalgia, whispering that what you knew was safer, easier, more predictable. But safety is not the measure of success in my kingdom. Obedience is. Comfort was never your calling. Transformation was. I am not interested in returning you to old cycles dressed in new disguises. I am interested in completing the good work I have begun in you and leading you into the manifestation of every word I have spoken over your life. The promises you have carried in your spirit are not figments of imagination, they are divine seeds planted by my own hand, and they are beginning to break through the soil. But you must keep moving. Turning back would be like uprooting the very harvest now ready to emerge. The terrain ahead may still hold unknowns, but the one who leads you is not uncertain. My steps are sure, my plans are unshakable, and my commitment to you is unwavering. You are not stepping into uncertainty. You are stepping into fulfillment shaped by hands that see the end from the beginning. Trust that what feels unfamiliar now will soon feel like home because it has been fashioned for the new creation you have become. Every step forward is a declaration that you belong to the kingdom that advances without retreat. Every choice to continue, even when the road feels steep, is a testimony that faith is stronger than fear. Do not look back at what could have been or what once was. Lift your eyes to what is becoming. The promises fulfilled will not resemble the comfort of past seasons. They will far surpass it. They will be built on foundations stronger than convenience, foundations forged by obedience, watered by surrender, and sealed by my faithfulness. There are victories ahead that will rewrite your understanding of what is possible. There are breakthroughs coming that will make past battles seem like distant preparation. There is fruitfulness ahead that will vindicate every quiet sacrifice, every silent step of trust, every decision to move forward when nothing yet made sense. Do not measure your progress by how much remains to be seen. Measure it by the fact that you refused to sit still when I called you to rise. Measure it by the reality that you are walking hand in hand with the God who cannot fail. Regret has no place on this path. What lies behind you has already been used for your good. What lies ahead is waiting to be embraced with courage. Keep your heart anchored in my promises, not in the echo of past doubts. Let your focus be on the harvest being unveiled, not the seeds buried behind you. I am faithful to complete what I started. I am relentless in fulfilling what I have spoken. I am committed to leading you all the way through, not halfway, not partway, but into the fullness of everything ordained for you. There is no value in pausing to second-guess decisions born from obedience. There is no wisdom in mourning seasons that my hand has already closed. Lift your head. Fix your gaze. Strengthen your resolve. Your destiny is not waiting behind you. It is unfolding in front of you, step by anointed step. This is not the time to hesitate. It is the time to press forward with holy determination. I am the God who parts seas, who moves mountains, who fulfills every promise spoken. And I am walking before you even now, making a way where it once seemed there was no way. Forward is the only option, and it is paved with my goodness. There were prayers you whispered in the quiet, prayers birthed in desperation, in longing, in moments when hope flickered but did not go out. You thought some of them faded with time, buried beneath the weight of other pressing needs, overshadowed by battles that demanded your focus. But I never forgot. Not a single plea escaped my notice. Not one request, no matter how small or broken, was ever discarded. Each word spoken from your heart was gathered, stored, and preserved in my perfect memory. Now you are stepping into the very answers your mind has long since set aside but your spirit has continued to carry. The seeds you sowed in earlier seasons, watered by tears and perseverance, are now bursting forth with life you did not even realize was still growing. You are entering fulfillment that will feel familiar yet surprising, the manifestation of petitions you entrusted to me and then released, believing I would do what only I can. Some of the breakthroughs about to unfold will catch you off guard, not because they were unexpected by me, but because I was working them deep in hidden places where faith was required, not sight. What you thought was forgotten has been flourishing beneath the surface, maturing at a pace that protected both the promise and the promise bearer. I guarded the process so that when the answers come, they are not premature, not fragile, but strong enough to endure, to bless, to multiply. This unfolding is not the product of chance or coincidence. It is the result of covenant. My commitment to you does not expire with time. My faithfulness does not diminish with delay. I honor even the faintest cry of a heart turned toward me. You are not stumbling into blessing, you are stepping onto ground prepared by your own prayers, your own trust, your own quiet surrenders. Remember the nights when you asked for purpose you could not yet name. Recall the moments you begged for joy to replace sorrow, for clarity to outshine confusion, for strength to overtake weakness. Those cries were not lost in the noise of life. They ascended to my throne, and they moved my heart. I began aligning answers even then, setting in motion the intricate weaving of circumstances, connections, and timing that would converge now, in this moment. What you are about to experience is not random favor, it is fulfillment traced directly to seeds of faith you once planted, often when you saw no immediate result. I am showing you now that nothing offered to me in faith ever disappears. It may be buried for a time, like a seed hidden in dark soil, but it is never dead. It is alive, growing, maturing until the exact moment when its fruit will nourish not only you but others whose lives are entwined with yours. Some prayers you prayed with such intensity that you wondered why silence seemed to follow. But I was not ignoring you. I was preparing you. I was ensuring that when the fulfillment arrived, you would be ready to steward it with wisdom, not squander it with haste. You will recognize the answers when they appear because they will resonate with the deepest longings of your spirit, not just the surface desires of fleeting seasons. They will fit like keys into locks long shut. They will feel like coming home to dreams you almost forgot belonged to you. The season of unfolding will reawaken hope where resignation tried to settle. It will stir joy in places long numbed by disappointment. It will remind you that no journey of faith is wasted, no offering of trust ignored. You are walking into a landscape shaped by prayers you thought had been shelved but were, all along, carefully guarded in the chambers of my heart. Celebrate not only the blessings you can see, but also the ones you have yet to recognize, answers still unfolding, promises still blooming, victories still rising beyond your line of sight. Trust that I am faithful not just to remember but to complete. Trust that the path you tread now is sacred, paved with the fulfillment of prayers too precious to be rushed. Walk forward with expectation, not anxiety. Anticipate goodness overtaking you, not because you have earned it, but because you dared to believe when believing cost you everything. You are stepping into ground your prayers softened, paths your faith paved, promises your perseverance prepared. And what you find ahead will testify that I am the God who remembers, the God who fulfills, the God who finishes every good work begun within you. The quiet seasons were not wasted. The times when you believed without applause, when you prayed without immediate answers, when you obeyed without understanding all of it mattered. What was sown in secret is now reaching maturity. The fields you once walked through by faith alone are beginning to bear visible fruit. What seemed like barren ground beneath your feet was, in truth, rich soil nurturing seeds you planted with every silent act of trust. Faith that grew without public recognition carries a weight of power that cannot be imitated or undone. It is pure. It is resilient. It is deeply anchored. And now, it is producing a harvest for all to see. You are stepping into seasons where what was once invisible will be undeniable. Breakthroughs will no longer be whispered promises held only within your heart. They will become testimonies written in the open. Answers that once seemed distant will stand before you, undeniable, tangible, irrefutable. You are moving from quiet endurance to public fulfillment, not because you sought the spotlight, but because the fruit of your perseverance demands to be seen. It is not pride that will mark your harvest. It is proof. Proof of my faithfulness. Proof that faith does not fail when it is rooted in me. Proof that even when the world sees nothing happening, heaven is moving in ways beyond human perception. You did not need an audience to believe. You did not require confirmation from men to continue. And because you sowed in silence, your harvest will speak loudly. You will not need to defend your journey. The fruit will be its own voice. You will not need to explain why you waited, why you trusted, why you held on to promises when others let go. The visible results will tell the story in a language no critic can deny. Every tear sown in hiddenness is returning as joy. Every sacrifice made without recognition is returning as favor. Every decision to trust me over appearances is returning as provision you cannot take credit for but will be entrusted to steward well. The harvest will not be accidental. It is the result of deliberate faith exercised when there was no evidence to support it except my word. You will walk into fields that feel familiar because you saw them long ago through the eyes of faith. Yet they will also feel brand new, vibrant with life that could only come from my hand. Celebrate not just the fruit but the faith that made it possible. Honor the process that brought you here. Remember the nights when belief was a choice, not a feeling. Let the visible blessings serve as monuments reminding you that I am the rewarder of those who diligently seek me, even when seeking felt lonely. What is coming will not just bless you, it will encourage others who are still in their silent seasons. Your harvest will be a testimony for those who wonder if their unseen sacrifices matter. You will be able to say with authority that they do, that nothing planted in faith is ever forgotten by me. I have watched every unseen prayer, every hidden act of kindness, every step of obedience taken without fanfare. I have recorded every moment when you chose my voice over the easy path. And now, I am bringing it all to fruition in ways that will stagger your imagination. This harvest will not merely meet your needs, it will exceed your expectations. It will overflow into the lives around you. It will open new opportunities to sow even greater seeds for future seasons. Do not be surprised when doors open without you knocking. Do not be shocked when favor finds you in places where you once faced resistance. This is the nature of harvest. It multiplies the small offerings of faith until they become fields of abundance. Walk forward boldly, not as someone hoping to see fruit, but as someone appointed to gather it. Know that the season of silent faith has served its full purpose. You are now called to steward the visible results of the trust you never abandoned. Lift your eyes. The fields are ripe. The time of fulfillment is here. Nothing you surrendered in the quiet went unnoticed by me. Every time you chose faithfulness over convenience, every moment you gave, without expectation of return, every decision to serve when no one clapped, each one was recorded in the courts of heaven. The world may not have seen the nights you wrestled with obedience or the mornings you rose early to pursue my heart before your own needs were met. But I saw. I marked those moments as holy. I stored every sacrifice as seeds in the fields of eternity, and now their harvest is ripening into public honor that no man can deny or diminish. You were faithful when it would have been easier to drift. You kept building when others abandoned their posts. You gave generously when resources felt scarce. You loved relentlessly when rejection could have hardened your heart. Those secret choices created foundations that the world is about to see, not for your glory, but for mine flowing through you. I am a rewarder of those who diligently seek me, not a forgetful observer of hidden obedience. I am a king who honors the offerings given when no spotlight shines, when no recognition feels guaranteed. Heaven celebrated every yes you whispered when no one else heard. Heaven recorded every tear you shed in prayer over dreams not yet realized. Heaven bore witness to the countless times you placed me first, trusting that somehow it mattered even when no evidence seemed to confirm it. Now the time has come for honor to rise from those unseen sacrifices. Not manufactured honor that humans attempt to create, but honor that carries the fragrance of my pleasure and the weight of my authority. You will find yourself stepping into moments of favor you did not orchestrate. Doors will open simply because my delight in your faithfulness has made a way where human efforts could not. Voices will speak your name in rooms you have never entered. Invitations will find you, not because you chased them, but because you chased me. The lifting up you are about to experience will be unmistakably tied to the lifting up you did in secret when only my eyes were watching. This public honor will not puff up your heart. It will purify it further. It will remind you that every hidden choice mattered. It will echo the truth that my reward system is not governed by man's applause but by heaven's affirmation. Others will see the fruit, but I see the roots. I see the unseen labors, the uncelebrated offerings, the battles fought in the shadows. I have weighed them, treasured them, and now I am causing the blessing that accompanies such obedience to burst forth. Do not be surprised when honor finds you in unexpected ways. Do not resist the recognition I bring. Receive it as a testimony of my faithfulness, a sign that sowing in secret is never in vain. Let every accolade point upward, giving glory to the one who walked with you through every silent valley. Let every opportunity to influence and bless others be a continuation of the sacrifices you once thought only heaven saw. Your hidden sacrifices were not small in my sight. They shaped nations unseen. They shifted atmospheres unknown to your natural eyes. They prepared the soil for miracles still unfolding. When you chose to obey me in private, you set in motion movements in the spirit that now manifest in breakthroughs publicly. You did not lose ground by surrendering quietly. You gained territory that is now being claimed openly. I am crowning your hidden faithfulness with visible favor. I am clothing your unseen sacrifices with tangible rewards. I am surrounding you with opportunities that reflect not just your growth, but my goodness through your obedience. Walk with humility as honor finds you. Wear it as a mantle of responsibility, not as a trophy of achievement. Let it propel you deeper into service, deeper into surrender, deeper into the calling that first asked for your yes without guarantees. I am not just blessing you for what you did. I am honoring who you became in the process. Every unseen sacrifice shaped the vessel that now carries my glory more fully. And this is only the beginning of the recognition heaven is releasing over your life, not to elevate you alone, but to exalt my faithfulness displayed through a heart that refused to stop trusting. The seasons where you endured in silence, pressing forward without applause, will not remain hidden forever. What was forged in the invisible is now preparing to be revealed in ways you could never have scripted. The perseverance that grew in you when no one noticed is about to become the very foundation upon which fulfillment publicly stands. I saw the nights when you chose to believe in the dark, when the evidence around you contradicted the promises whispered into your spirit. I watched as you kept moving when retreat would have been easier, as you held fast to hope when circumstances tried to erode it. That kind of endurance is precious in my sight, and now it is producing fruit that must be seen, honored, and shared. Your journey is shifting from one of quiet endurance to open testimony. You are stepping into fulfillment that cannot be hidden or diminished. It will carry the weight of the trials you survived and the beauty of the victories won behind closed doors. This is not the celebration of achievements born from striving. This is the reward for a heart that remained faithful when breakthrough seemed far away. You are crossing into a time where fulfillment will surround you like a banner. The promises that once felt delayed will spring forth with a momentum that sweeps you into spaces you once only dreamed of. This is the reward for not giving up when giving up felt justified. This is the unveiling of dreams protected through persistence, promises shielded through perseverance. I am not merely rewarding your endurance with comfort. I am crowning it with tangible fulfillment. You will see relationships restored that once seemed severed beyond repair. You will step into opportunities that seemed closed indefinitely. You will experience favor that feels effortless, because it is built upon the unshakable foundation of years spent trusting when sight offered no confirmation. Others will look at your life and see the harvest, but only you and I know the depth of the roots that now sustain it. Fulfillment without endurance is fragile. Fulfillment born through perseverance is unbreakable. You have become unbreakable in me. Not hardened by disappointment, but strengthened by trust. Not embittered by delaying, but refined by waiting. You are moving into a visibility that will not compromise your humility because it is built on the deep knowledge that every victory is a testament to my sustaining grace, not your own ability. Let your heart be at peace as you are elevated. Let your spirit rest in the assurance that the spotlight is not a trap. It is a platform for my glory, entrusted to one who knows where their strength truly comes from. The fulfillment you are stepping into will not only bless you, but inspire others to endure their own hidden seasons with fresh courage. Your story will be a living epistle, a letter of my faithfulness written not with ink but with life itself. Every silent yes, every hidden prayer, every unseen act of obedience has woven together a tapestry that now must be unveiled. It is time for the light to reveal what was formed in the quiet. It is time for joy to burst forth where sorrow once lingered. It is time for celebration to echo where silence once reigned. This is not a moment of coincidence. It is a divine appointment orchestrated through your consistent trust. Walk into fulfillment without hesitation. Carry the endurance that brought you here into the next chapters, for they will require the same steadfast spirit. Fulfillment is not the end of growth. It is the beginning of greater impact. I am not just completing promises. I am multiplying influence. I am not just answering prayers. I am opening new assignments that will flow naturally from the place of fulfillment. Be ready to see testimonies spring up where tears once fell. Be ready to witness doors open where walls once blocked the way. Be ready to dance where you once could only stand still and wait. You are moving from unseen endurance to celebrated fulfillment. And the celebration will not be shallow. It will be saturated with the weight of what it cost and the glory of what it accomplished. You had endured well. Now step boldly into what endurance has prepared for you. What you experienced before was only a glimpse compared to what I am preparing to release through you now. The measures of glory that once sustained you were necessary for their time, but they were never meant to define your ceiling. They were foundations, not finish lines. They were deposits, not the full inheritance. I have been building within you the capacity to carry a weight of my presence that will surpass everything you have known up to this point. You are stepping into a season where the evidence of my hand upon you will be unmistakable, undeniable, uncontainable. The glory that rested lightly upon you in previous seasons will now settle more deeply, filling every corner of your being with a radiance that cannot be hidden. This is not about external appearances or fleeting emotions. It is about a tangible reality of my spirit permeating everything you are and everything you touch. I have refined you so that what once cracked under pressure can now contain greater measures without leaking, greater power without distortion, greater revelation without pride. You have been trusted with pain so you could be trusted with power. You have been entrusted with delay so you could be entrusted with acceleration. You have been entrusted with hiddenness so you could be entrusted with visibility anchored in humility. I do not pour new wine into old skins. I create new vessels ready to expand with the outpouring I have ordained. You are that vessel, not by accident, but by surrender, by perseverance, by allowing my refining fire to do its work. The former glory you carried was beautiful, but it was preparatory. It taught you to listen when my voice was faint. Now you will hear even the slightest whisper and move with precision. It taught you to trust when evidence was thin. Now you will move with the authority of one who knows from experience that I am faithful beyond sight. You are moving from glimpses to habitation. I am no longer visiting you occasionally. I am dwelling within you permanently in measures that will affect every atmosphere you enter. Your words will carry weight because they will carry my heart. Your actions will shift atmospheres because they will flow from a spirit saturated with my presence. This greater glory will not make you distant from people. It will make you a magnet for the hungry, the broken, the seeking. Those who hunger for something real will find it in the fragrance you carry. Those weary of empty promises will find refreshing in the rivers that flow from within you. You will not need to announce it. It will announce itself. Darkness will recognize it and flee. Despair will recognize it and lift. Hope will recognize it and rise. The battles that once drained you will now crumble before the presence you carry. The warfare that once intimidated you will now bow to the authority that flows effortlessly through you. This is not because of your striving, but because of your yielding. The greater glory is not a reward for performance. It is the natural outcome of deeper surrender. It is not earned by effort. It is entrusted through intimacy. I am entrusting you with more because you have proven that you will not use it to build your own kingdom, but to expand mine. You will move in greater glory not to impress, but to impact. You will steward it not for applause, but for alignment with my will on the earth. Be prepared for the way doors open differently now. Be prepared for the way hearts respond differently now. Be prepared for a weight you feel in moments of worship, in moments of prayer, in moments of simple obedience. It is the weight of glory settling, strengthening, establishing my covenant through your life. Under it, protect it, steward it well. The former season was necessary for foundation. This new season is necessary for manifestation. What once felt like barely enough will now overflow. What once felt like survival will now feel like reigning, not over people, but over fear, over doubt, over every obstacle that once slowed your steps. Walk with the awareness that you are a carrier of something far beyond yourself. Walk with reverence for the presence you now house. Walk with the confidence that you are not moving by your own might, but by my Spirit dwelling richly within you. The glory ahead is not a distant hope. It is a present reality beginning to rise. Step into it fully. It hath been prepared for you, and you have been prepared for it. Amen.